tale has just begun.
Greetings. This program may contain mature content. From the hilt cautions. Viewer discretion is advised. This is live content and sometimes people swear. Because we like to say shit if we want to. Thank you. Enjoy the show.
Greetings, I'm Logan the G.I. Joe Gamer. Tonight we're going to be reading Prisoner of Elderwood. Give you a closer look at that cover if it looks better like this or if it looks better close up. I don't know, but there's what we're reading. I'm thinking that copy of the picture is a little blurry. There it is. In the poll, I'm going to say hey to Ray here first real quick. Hey, Ray, what's up, Rudini? It's nice to have you hanging out. Right now, you're it, but we'll wait a bit. I'm talk about the poll here a little bit. In the poll, we've got Villains of Volturnus. Bum, bum, bum. This is a Star Frontiers, so it's a futuristic sci-fi game. Yo, yo, yo. Good to see you. So yeah, we got a sci-fi book for you on the poll. So you can check that out. We actually have two on the poll tonight. Next up is, and that's Villains of Volturnus. There's the cover for that, and definitely the pics aren't looking very good. They're looking pretty grainy. This one looks pretty good. This is Circus of Fear. This is a really fun D&D adventure, but nobody ever votes for it. It sounds because nobody wants to go to the circus. It's not really about the circus, but there is a circus in it. So yeah, it's a good title. Another one by Rose Estes. I think, yeah, Jean Blanchfield is the author of Villains of Volturnus. So this is Rose Estes, who wrote most of the first few. We have another D&D one, Under Dragon's Wing by John Kendall. So the reason I'm talking about the authors is because I'm going to be talking about our Halloween special coming up here real quick. Circus, lol. Yeah, exactly. You know, I don't want to go to the circus. I put that book off reading for a long time, and then I read it, and it was one of my favorite endless quest books because it's not really about the circus. There is, like I said, there is a circus in it, but it's a medieval circus. Anyway, there's Under Dragon's Wing. Let's see here. We've got Captive Planet, which you can't even see that at all. That's crappy. So I guess you have to look at mine, which my copy is really nice. And the author of this one is Morris Simon. So there we go. Captive Planet. So, but tonight we'll be reading Prisoner of Elderwood, and I'm going to use this G.I. Joe trading card because I can't find my bookmark. I'm going to use that as our mulligan page. The author of this one is Bruce Algazin, who writes some really cool endless quest books. And let me see. Probably won't see that pick while we're reading. So there's first pick in the book. And let's see, cover art is by Jeff Easley. That's what it looked like. And interior art is going to be by Gary Williams. So Bruce Algazin, who wrote some really cool D&D modules too, back in way day. But what I wanted to talk about is in 2 weeks, we're going to have our Halloween special on the 30th of October, and we'll be reading Night Shift. So yeah, this the vote that you're voting for is for next month. But it's going to be really fast, these endless quest books, over the course of this month and next month. But Night Shift by Victoria Hancock. And this is a brand new, well, it's from 2019, but it's a newer book. That's Choose Your Own Adventure. Cool with the Circus of Fear. I just picked Villains because it was the first. I don't really want to choose. Any are good. Yeah, they're all of them we haven't read yet. So, that's cool. But like I said, for Halloween, we're going to be, for the Halloween special on the 30th, we're going to be reading Night Shift. So yeah, I got the GIF up on the channel for this, so you can check it out. But yeah, this is coming in 2 weeks. We'll be reading that. Let me get these books out of the way. So do my thing up here. Last night I looked at Tripwire and Major Blood on Joe Chase. So that was pretty cool. But tonight we're reading. But I wanted to let's see if I can get some more people in here. Let's see if we can get some background music rocking with us in the background. So let's pop it over here and see if that's good volume. Looks for me short. Yeah. I don't know. Thought it was Stephen King's short story about a night shift. Yeah. No, not at all. It's like I said, it's an Endless Quest book. Well, it's not an Endless Quest book, but it's a choose your own adventure. And you know what? I'll read the premise of it real quick, so we can get an idea of what we're going to be reading next time. Welcome to the night shift. Normally, you turn up at the hospital at 9 p.m. and prepare to face whatever comes through the door. You patched up gunshot wounds, plated broken bones, and drained abscesses. I always find that gross when I read that part. That is disgusting. You drain some abscesses. Sometimes you've spent the entire night watching TV, feeling bored and just willing the phone to ring, waiting for something to happen. But what if something did happen? What would you do if your ordinary routine just turned upside down? In this adventure, you are not a hero. You're just a hospital worker who's caught up in the middle of your worst nightmare. Will you be able to use your wits and survive? We'll see you on the other side. So, night shift. This should be cool for Halloween. I like the premise of it. Yeah, they are still publishing like choose your own adventures and stuff. Yes, sir, but not Endless Quest books. I wish they would. Endless Quest books were awesome, but that, as far as I know, unless they've redone them recently, they've only ever done 50 Endless Quest books. Because they had like 37. They didn't quite reach 40, or was it? It might have been, and then they added a bunch of new ones in the 90s. And right after they did, I think right after they did third edition, they did a few. But I could only find 50 total. So, Endless Quest book. But yeah, Prisoner of Elderwood is what we're going to be reading tonight. We do have 4 people watching, so I guess I can get started. Actually, a real hero? well, maybe we'll find out. But I strongly recommend for that reading that you guys take notes, because it's going to be given clues and all sorts of things. So that should be fun. All right. Where is your other half, Ray? Jess is usually in here, but she might not know I'm even live right now. So, all right, let's get this going. We're going to be reading Prisoner of Elderwood tonight. We saw the first picture. All right. Are we ready? Here we go. Slowly the door of your cell cracks open, and a beam splits the blackness. Into the light steps one of King Kadrak's. That's an interesting word. Kadrak's evil guards. You hear the clank of iron keys as as the guard shambles towards you. On your feet, Redmond Longbow. The king wants a word with you. Go! Oh, go away, you growl. With a gleeful laugh, the brute jabs lightly at your stomach with his spear. She's not feeling well, might be asleep. Okay, but life happens. Why aren't these comments coming up on the screen like this? I did have that turned on. Oh well. Yeah, they're all showing up. So, weird. Well, it's, I don't know. Yeah, chime in, please, if you want to. All right, so a little wobbly, are we? Okay, listen. The guard's boots straddle you, and his rough hands pull you upright. He no more than gets you to a standing position. Then you collapse to the floor once more. A little wobbly, are we, my thieving friend? Your footing should have been this poor when you led the king's troops on such a merry chase before they captured you. He pulls you to a standing position again, then with an evil laugh pushes you toward the door. In the corridor, the dungeon air is foul and dank, but anything is better than the stench of your cell. With a powerful nudge, the guard forces you up the dark, narrow passageway. What in the world would the evil King Craddock want with me? You wonder. Surely he knows how much you hate him, after what he did to your kinsmen, forcing them to flee their hillside homes. The passage opens onto a large underground room lit by torches. On a high dais at the room's center rests a throne, and on the throne sits King Craddock, his gnarled beard flowing majestically over his dark robe. That's odd, you think. You expected to see his wicked mouth twisted in a triumphant smile, but instead he looks wan and tired. The guard jabs you from behind. Bow to King Craddock, he hisses. I prefer to stand, you cringe, waiting for the expected blow, but the king intercedes. Let him stand if he wants, he says. I didn't summon him here to quibble about manners. My boy, are you Redmond Longbow, called Redmond the Thief by my men in the field? I am Redmond Longbow, you say slowly. Okay, let's do it right. I am Redmond Longbow, you say slowly. And was it not you who caused my generals such hardship by putting their horses to rout and ruining their food stores? It was indeed I. And I would gladly do it again, and if it would further the cause of my oppressed people. That's what I thought, says the king with a sigh as he stares at you lost in thought. Where are my companions, you demand? You mean the girl and the pesky bird and that silly old magician of your father's? Yes, that's them. Where are they? What have you done with them? I assure you, they're safe. There's no need to be concerned about their welfare. We got a picture of you standing before the king with the guard jabbing you in the back. No need to be concerned. That's easy for you to say, but then it isn't your country that's been ransacked and looted, is it? Such are the fortunes of war, Redmond Longbow, the king says in a patient voice. I summoned you here because I have a proposition for you. How would you like to free your country to win back its independence? The evil necromancer. Okay, win back your country. I got sidetracked. Win back its independence. Free my people, you ask? Wondering if you heard him correctly. Yes, free your people. Single-handedly perform one task for me. I will give you back your homeland. Give me back my homeland? How? My troops and I can be out of Trillium in a week. But first you must help me. What must I do, you ask, suspicious? When I came to your country, I brought a magician with me. His name was Valerian. The evil necromancer? That dabbler in the black arts? You know of him. Know of him? My people still have barnyards full of pigs that squawk like chickens, and cows that lay milk-filled eggs, thanks to his foul experiment. That wicked alchemist deserves to burst into flame and perish along with his evil master. Watch your tongue, snarls the guard behind you, and he jabs you with his spear. No, says the king hastily. Leave him be. Don't you see? He feels we've wronged him, and deservedly so. Listen to me, Redmond Longbow. Everything you say about Valerian is true. He is most assuredly a blackguard, a blackguard, a monster. I brought him here only because he convinced me that without his help, I could never subdue your people. But now he's left me. We had a disagreement about money, and now he's gone. What's far worse, he's taken with him something more precious to me than all the supposed gold in Trillium. What is that, you ask, curious? My daughter. I didn't even know you had a daughter, you sneer. What's her name, Princess Toad? Much to your surprise, the king chooses to ignore your insult and go on. Her name is Magdalena. Valerian claims that I still owe him for his services. So he has kidnapped her to force me to pay him. So pay him then. Your financial problems are no concern of mine. That is just the problem. Trillium is a poor country. It cost me a fortune to invade it. And now I find its treasury is bankrupt. I could have told you that, you say. Do you think it's easy raising crops in these mountains? We are happy, even in our poverty, until you came along, that is. Let us return to the point of this discussion. Early this week, I received a message from Valerian. He says he will kill my daughter if I don't pay what he claims I owe him. I'm at my wit's end, Longbow. I have tried everything. Every kind of entreaty. Every possible threat. Valerian ignores them all. Valerian has imprisoned my daughter in a magical gem. The only way to rescue her is to steal the stone and return it to me. You are a master thief, are you not? My generals tell me you managed to elude their every trap. Never, they say, have they encountered anyone so clever. If I'm a master thief, it's only because I've been forced to become one. So you want me to steal this gem for you? That is correct. Please have mercy on an old man's heart. My daughter is all I have. And if I do this, you and your troops will leave Trillium and never return? Yes, yes, anything you ask. Well, you say, wondering whether or not you trust the crafty old king? Before you decide, the king adds hastily, let me show you something. He gestures to a guard and a door is open at the end of the hall. Out of the darkness appear three figures. A bird, a young girl, and an elderly gentleman in a conical hat. Tyndall, Mora, Thorn, you cried. They rush to you, and for a moment you're lost in your elation. Your friends, your very best friends here, and you thought you'd never see them alive again. Mora squeals with delight and grabs you in one of her mountain girl bear hugs. While Tyndall pulls at his long white beard and pats lovingly on you. He pats you lovingly on the back. Thorn the Raven prances playfully on top of your head. You look at Mora in mock anger. I thought you got away from that guard. I did, she insists, but they sent another one after me. What was I to do? Please have mercy on an old tyrant. Yes, sir. Let's see. And you go on, turning to Tyndall. You sideshow charlatan. When I tell you there is to be no magic on a raid, I mean it. Another of your misbegotten tricks gone wrong. No wonder they discovered us. But Redmond, there was no other way. Go! Peels Thorns, soaring into the air and out of sheer exuberance. Come along for the ride! Go! You throw back your head and laugh heartily, feeling really good for the first time in a long time. Then grasp your friends closer. Nothing else matters as long as the four of you are together. May I remind you, intones the grave voice of the king, that you are still my prisoners. One word of my guards and you go back to your cells. I need your decision, Redmond Longbow. Will you help me? Where is the jewel being kept? Valerian has it with him, I expect. And where is he? Rumors say Valerian is in Elderwood. Elderwood, Moore exclaims. That's no place for a romp now, is it? Elderwood is very dangerous, Redmond, warns Tyndall. There's a good chance we might never come back. I know that, old man, the king shouts impatiently. There's much at stake here for all of us. Redmond Longbow, what is your decision? My friends may accompany me. Yes, anything you want, but I must have your answer. You glance around at your friends. Do you realize what's being asked of us? Laura smiles broadly. She's a rough and tumble mountain maid, ready for anything. Do it, she says. If your heart's in it, Redmond. But if it's not, pay me no mind. We're all mountain folk. We've still a trick or two up our sleeves. March, squawks Thorn from above. Evil king, enemy! Hush, buzzard, shouts Tyndall. The boy must listen to his heart. How can he do that with you squawking all the time? Clearly, you have an important decision to make. If you wish to undertake the quest to Elderwood and attempt to free your people, turn to page 29. If you decide not to trust the king and look for some other means to defeat him, turn to page 48. So, Ray, I guess it's up to you, bud. Which way do you want to go? Take the king's quest or go back to your cell and try to find another way to defeat the king? I don't think there's much of a choice here, really. Continue the book or end the book? Well, say you, bro. We accept the mission. There you go. All right. I don't think anybody else is going to chime in, so here we go. All right. If you wish to undertake the quest to Elderwood and attempt to free your people, turn to page 29. 29. I will put the card in the mulligan page, but I don't think we're going to need that one. But I will do it anyway. You decide to undertake the quest to rescue the king's daughter, but the decision isn't an easy one. You wonder if you should help such a king for any reason, but you see it as your only chance to free the people of Trillium. Trillium sounds like some kind of element, doesn't it? We will do your bidding, King Craddock, you say, but only on condition that you and your troops then leave Trillium forever. You have my word as a king, Redmond, Longbow. Return my daughter to me safely, and I will leave your country in peace. Hey, we got a cool gamer in the house. What's up, cool gamer? You can chime in and help choose too next time, buddy. Good to see you. All right. The next morning, you and your friends start out. The sun is shining brightly, and the green hills of Trillium never look more radiant. Yet, unlike your friends who are all in light spirits now that they're out of their cells and in the open air once more, you don't feel like laughing and joking. Instead, you feel as if a great weight is on your shoulders. Okay. Is it right to be helping an enemy of my people, you wonder? Shouldn't I be fighting him on a field of battle rather than bribing him with favors? Where's the honor in this? The precious Trillium. Yeah, that's what it sounds like, doesn't it? These thoughts plague you as you travel along, but you keep your thoughts to yourself, nevertheless. Your friends can't help but notice your solemn mood. And that night, by the fire, Mora asks you outright, Redmond, what's the matter? I just don't know if we're doing the right thing, Mora, you reply. After all, King Craddock is our sworn enemy. He's destroyed our land, ravaged our towns and villages, thrown many of our people into prisons. How can we help him like this? Because war is war, Tyndall interjects philosophically. In wartime, one must do what one must do. If the goal is to free one's people, then one must do it, by whatever means he can. And if one must do it by helping one's enemy, that is what he must do. But first, the Tranya. There you go. I agree with Redmond, says Mora, poking the fire absently with a stick. I think we should fight, if we get the opportunity. Ah, fight, chants Thorn. I just don't know, you say. There's something in Tyndall's point of view, though, too. But I'll say one thing. I'm not going to lose sight of the real reason we're out here to free the people of Trillium from the monstrous King Craddock forever. Well said, agrees Mora. So tell us about Elderwood, Tyndall, you say. Ah, Elderwood, sighs the old man, a faint smile crossing his lips. As strange and magical a place as one can imagine. Dryads, nymphs, pixies, fairies, brownies, all these supposedly mythical creatures actually exist there. Would you kidnap the princess and ransom her? Yeah, I think that's what we're doing. Meh. Hello, Jess. Nice of you to pop in. All right, we might have an actual a choice here in a bit. Instead of just one person choosing to have a group. Oh, yeah, I know what it is. Okay. He's telling us about Elderwood. Sounds like a real nice place, Mora offers. Not necessarily, Tyndall puts in quickly. There is evil in Elderwood, too. It is an ancient place, you know, untouched for many centuries. It is now just as it once was. Good and evil still fight there, openly. It is a truly remarkable preservation, fascinating to an old magician like me. I thought you'd been there, you recall. I was once, says the old man. It was in my youth. My master took me there when I was an apprentice. Ever since, I've been waiting for an opportunity to return. Looks like you get your chance, you say. We should be in Elderwood sometime tomorrow. Meanwhile, I think we should all get some sleep. The others agree, and in a short time, you're all sleeping peacefully. The next day, the wind is strong and carries with it a faint smell. Not an entirely unpleasant smell, but an old smell. As much as any aroma could be, it is the smell of age. What's that smell? Asked Morris, sniffing the air. Elderwood itself, says Tyndall. It can't be too far away now. Does it always smell like this? She asked. Always, the old magician answers. It is the odor of time itself standing still. Hello, Buttfiles. Welcome in. Good to see you. Hope you're having a good day. All right. By midday, the sun is a thin white disk behind the clouds, and the air is full of the scent of elderwood. The landscape is changing too, you notice. A peculiar kind of vine is everywhere, choking out the other plants and causing a blight. In some places, it covers the ground like a blanket. In others, its advance is being held back by some of the larger trees. Finally, you come to a place where even the largest trees are covered by strange vines, so that walking under them is like stepping into a big leafy house. The roof thatched solid with thick, scaly leaves. It is then that you know you've entered Elderwood. Even the light diffuse and murky is different from any place you've ever been before. Everything seems timeless, as though Elderwood has been here since the beginning of things and will be here long after things end. Picture, picture, picture. All right. The others feel it too, almost as readily as you. What a spooky place, whispers Mora in an odd voice. Tyndall is more thoughtful. He scratches his long white beard as he looks around, muttering, never changes. All these years and it never changes. But it's Thorn who worries you the most. Out of the four of you, he's the most sensitive to changes of place and atmosphere. He flutters down from above and lights on your shoulder. And you can tell by the way he dances back and forth, unable to keep still, that he's upset. No birds, he calls. No birds! Is it Mora? Mora? It's M-O-R-A, Mora. Mora. Yeah, like Myra. Moira, but it's Mora. Let me see. He's right, you realize. It isn't just the light that makes Elderwood eerie. Silence is everywhere, and you realize it's been a long time since you've heard the call of any bird other than Tyndall. The path is wide and surprisingly seems well used. The four of you haven't gone far when you see the kind of sight that earned Elderwood its grim reputation. A girl, dressed in a garment so sheer it might have been woven from spider webs, darts across your path, screaming in terror. Behind her is a huge boar, slashing out wildly with his tusk, and behind that is a scaly creature, the like of which you've never seen. No more than 3 feet tall, it has the head of a dog and the arms and legs of a human. The creature is brandishing a sword, as though urging the boar on. What was that, you whisper to Tyndall when the figures finally disappear into the tangle of vines? The old man wrinkles his eyes. I'm not sure, Master Redmond, but I think you've just seen a kobold driving its pet boar. Mora grabs your arm urgently. Red, that girl was in trouble. You're right, Mora. We have to do something. Overhead, Thorn's wings beat the air. Elderwood, he intones. Beware of Elderwood. The decision is up to you. Okay, so if you think you should follow the girl and try to save her, turn to page 95. If you think you have troubles enough as it is and should ignore the girl, turn to page 36. So, go follow the girl or go on about our business. She seems fine. I like that answer, buddy. Ignore the girl. What's up, Phil? Good to see you, buddy. Ignore the girl. That's 2 for ignoring the girl. That's not good odds. What you got for us? Good odds there. What you got for us, cool gamer, Jess? Seriously, they'll go help her. Okay, all right. Okay, since Ray was here first, I'm going to do something new. In the event of a tie, Ray gets 2 votes because he was here first. And I'm going to do that every time from now on. She's a white. She might be, dude. She might be. Bet we don't help. If we don't help her, we will anyway. So is that a vote for helping her? Yeah, I thought it was pretty funny too, Raven. Oh, so 1-1. All right, there it is. That's 2 out of 3 of you saying go help. So, and we haven't heard from Cool Gamer on it, and it wouldn't matter because Ray's vote would count as 2. So, Phil, she probably knows the way to the nearest Kroger. Bet she has the app. It's probably 2. True. If you think you should follow the girl and try to save her, turn to page 95. Let's put this in here where it doesn't come out. Turn to page 95. New mulligan page. All right, here we go. Instantly you wave to Thorn, who begins to follow the kobolds from the air while you and Mora take up the chase on the ground. Oh, well, then by all means help her. If she's, Groger, yes, all right. Tyndall is too old to run. Instead, he claps his hands, and a thick thundercloud begins to form, black and rumbling, with bolts of lightning flashing from it. Tyndall makes a downward gesture, and the cloud swirls around his feet. And he points up, and instantly he's airborne like Thorn, skimming across the ground. Thanks for all the bumblebees. All right. Up ahead, you see Thorn begin to circle. The boar must have the girl cornered, you think, hoping you'll be in time. You signal the boar to continue on, then you leave the path and, keeping to the soft ground to hide your footsteps, scurry to the top of a hillock that overlooks the Essence. Wouldn't the soft ground actually make the bigger tracks? I could be wrong. I thought you could use them. Said Phil, hey, the anal bees, ouch. Ugh. Okay. Below you, the girl lies exhausted, the boar only a yard away, pawing the ground like an angry bull and getting ready to charge. Meanwhile, behind the boar, the kobold is jumping up and down and chattering in a language you don't understand, brandishing its sword all the while. You see immediately what must be done. With a wild mountain yell, you leap from your perch onto the back of the kobold and ride it to the ground. The creature starts to flail wildly with its sword, but you grab it, no bigger than a good-sized dagger, really, and force it up under the little thing's chin. All right, we're not wusses here. Honestly, they made my day and the day of the urgent care team. The gift that pays itself forward. Ouch. Sounds like they were. All right, so we got a picture of you holding the dude with the knife, man. All right. Redmond Longbow is our character's name, Jess and Phil. We are a thief, and we got some interesting companions. Call off your pet, you order firmly. The little kobold is stronger than you thought. It pushes the sword away with its other hand and rams a tiny elbow hard into your chest. It almost gets free, but you manage to grab it by the foot. It begins to kick wildly, but you hold on and eventually get it around the waist again. Meanwhile, you wonder what the boar was doing. You turn only to find it's charged the object of its attack. It's pawing back large clots of mud staring directly at you. It's changed the object of its attack, okay, instead of charged. It's looking at us, okay. It's just a dog-faced kobold, yeah. What is he doing with that knife? No shit. That doesn't look like a kobold. That's what kobolds originally look like. Yeah, they don't look like the little dragon things that current D&D does. Kind of how I do my kobold too, little dogmen with rat tails. Let's see. Okay, the boar's charging at us. Quickly, you get control of the sword once again and hold it to the kobold's throat. Call it off, you hiss in the creature's ear. Now! Kobold shouts something, and you realize the boar must have been under the power of some sort of spell as it shakes its head, stares at you in surprise, and quickly bounds off into the woods. It's like old Klingons versus new Klingons. Very Klingon one. Yep. Let's see. Mora approaches at a run. When she sees you have the situation under control, she goes immediately to tend to the girl. Meanwhile, Tyndall finally arrives. His cloud is sputtering badly. Its lightning flashes reduced to mere sparks. What happened this time, you ask, brushing leaves from your tunic with one hand and holding the kobold tightly by the wrist with the other. I guess I must be getting old, he sighs. My claps just don't raise the storms. Like they used to. He looks crestfallen. Remember the first Ferengi were kind of rough and barbaric, yeah. Are you junk or is it antihistamines? Oh man, I like to mix them. Well, you say, turning the kobold around and giving it a good shake to keep it from nipping at your hand. Now that we've caught this thing, what do we do with it? Cries Thorn from above. Oh, for dinner! Oh! I suppose we could kill it, says the old man, thoughtfully stroking his beard. But undoubtedly it has friends in the forest. They might not take kindly to it. Suddenly, as if to settle the debate, the kobold wrenches itself out of your grasp, and before anyone can stop it, it scampers off over the forest floor and disappears into a thicket. Cast bitch slap. There you go. Hey, you shout. Hey, you. You shout and start after it, but Tyndall restrains you. Perhaps it's best to let it go, he says. Meanwhile, Mora has brought the girl to her senses and is cradling her in her arm, her head in her arms. You go over and bend down to speak. But when the girl turns towards you, you see she is strikingly beautiful, more beautiful than any female you've ever seen. And your words stick in your throat. What's your name? Mora asks gently. The girl doesn't answer. Instead, she grabs your hand and begins smothering it with kisses. Oh, thank you, sir. Thank you. Thank you. You draw back your hand, and a second later, she's on her feet. And before you can stop her, she too dashes off into the forest. We aren't so bad. Freaking kobold escaped, yeah. No, wait, you call. You start after her, but once more, Tyndall stops you this time with a firm hand on your shoulder. Still no competition for the beautiful males, though. All the beautiful males. You strain against his grip. You long to follow this mysterious, beautiful girl. For some crazy reason, you feel you know her and want to be with her. Oh, you want to be with her. All right, Master Redman, asked Tyndall gently, although his grip grows tighter. May I speak? Like, what? Have we stopped him? Can we stop you? I don't trust her. Well, bye, chica. Well, bye, chica. Yes, there you go. The last wisp of the girl's gossamer gown disappears into a grove of gorse bush, and you realize if you don't hurry, you may lose her. Yes, old man, what is it? Speak quickly. I used to be a beautiful male, now I'm rugged. I mean ragged. There you go, that too. I promised your father to protect you, and I must warn you, this girl is not human. She is a dragon, and although she may be beautiful, it is well known that those who follow such creatures never return. Your old friend is forcing you to make a decision. Your heart yearns to go with her, yet what Tyndall says makes sense. She is somehow too beautiful, her allure too strong. She is something more than mere flesh and blood. But what should you do? If you decide to follow the Dryad, turn to page 114. If you decide not to follow her, turn to page 36. All right, we got no choice, guys. Follow the Dryad or do not follow the Dryad. You mean rigged? Okay. All right, while you guys are deciding, I will answer a message over here on Discord. Beautiful, Phil, everything is beautiful. Something chuckle. I use rigging. The old man says, bros before hoes. You have your mother's hips. All right. Yeah, he wants me to listen to some songs. I'll have to do it later. Sergeant Dan. All right. What do we got? Do we get some choices here? You say the first one. So, what's the question? All right. The question is: follow the dryad, or don't follow the dryad. Those are our choices. So you want to follow the dryad, Phil? Okay. What I like about you, Phil, I will go along with the vote, and I'm driving. Also, I was indicted for allegedly keeping and sharing classified information. So are we really following this dryad? Don't follow her. Yeah, I got one sensible answer. The Ray's vote will count as 2, but I don't think we're going to need it because it looks like Phil voted for following her too. I need to verify this vote here, guys. Follow the dryad or not? Jess says don't follow. I never heard of the word indicted. I think she has a Kroger coupon. Okay, so the Phil's following. Oh, that was you, Phil. Yeah, follow her. Okay, I got it, Phil. You're fine. Get her coupon. I got you. All right. Well, Ray says don't follow. I mean, Jess says don't follow. So Ray, it's on you. Are we following this girl or not? She's evil. Dryads aren't evil, but yeah, nobody ever returns. What they do after they do with you, whatever it is they do with you, who knows? Medieval woman, evil woman, yellow, boom, boom, boom. Man, it's been a while since I heard that. I need to start listening to some more classic rock. Put it up on the Discord every Thursday and have people listen. ELO. I don't think I've done a triple shot of ELO yet. That'd be a good one. Follow. Okay. 2 for follow, Jess. You're outvoted. Here we go. This one might end quickly. Well, we might come back to this choice. But following the dryad, turn to page 114. This ought to be fun, guys. All right. Decide her allure is too great. Fine. Go to your device. Telephone line, strange magic, yes sir, ELO. You tear yourself away from Tyndall and begin running, leaping over thickets, crashing through saplings. A supernatural power seems to pull you on. You reach the gorse thicket where you saw her disappear. Without hesitation, you dive in. To your surprise, it borders a section of the creek. You tumble down the steep embankment and roll head over heels into the cool water. Just look at them eyes, yes sir. You're soaked to the skin, but it doesn't matter. Up ahead, you catch a glimpse of the dryad's filmy white garment disappearing like a puff of smoke behind a tree. And you're on your feet running again. Now, did the garment disappear or did she disappear? I'm thinking she disappeared. Where'd the boat go? No, there's no boat. Okay, up overhead, you hear the flap of wings. You glance up to see Thorn keeping an eye on you from the air. Let the others follow, you think. Nothing matters as long as I find her. You run for what seems an eternity. Over hillocks, through valleys. Each time you round a corner or top a rise, you catch a glimpse of her. You continue to follow. Finally, you come to a low part of the forest in an area where there seems to have been frequent flooding. The ground has receded, leaving mounds of earth topped with thick brush, separated by low areas of dry weeds. Near one of the mounds, the dryad pauses a moment and turns to see if you're watching. Then slips through the shrubbery and disappears. Seconds later, you reach the mound. You're about to follow her through the shrubs when you hear voices murmuring on the other side of the bushes. They're unlike any voices you've ever heard before. Musical, like chimes sounding or bells ringing. Maybe you shouldn't go in there. Maybe you should wait for the others to join you. After all, Tyndall said the beautiful dryad wasn't even human. And now we're turning to page 17 here. Woo. That's way back. And page 17 is... Fuck. My fingers don't want to open the page. What is going on here? There we go. Well, it's not an ending, guys. At least I don't think so. But maybe you guys chose okay. Wow, this one's a long one. Whoop, whoop. Well, if I'm looking at this right, guys, and I didn't miss a page, the options. Wow, this is a long read. Oh, man, finally to it. Yeah, okay. So it does come to a new choice. So let's see. Where let's see, boar. Where did the boar go? It ran off. It just ran off. She has smoke. Nice. Okay, before long, the others arrive at the mound with Thorn in the lead. You shouldn't run ahead like that, Mora admonishes you. She's right, Redmond, adds Tyndall, gasping for breath. We can't afford to get separated. There's no telling what might happen. I apologize to both of you, but look what I found. You point to the place where the creature disappeared. A fairy mound, whispers Tyndall in awe. He rubs his hands together gleefully. Now we may be getting somewhere. I heard voices coming from somewhere in there, you say. Some were like music, others like bells chiming. Good, very good, warbles Tyndall, looking even more pleased. Will someone kindly tell me what's going on here? Asked Mora. Why won't you two let me say it's a trap? I don't know. It's a trap. It's a Star Wars line. Come on. It's a trap. Okay. Okay. Every forest has its heart, Tyndall explains hastily. It's the central spot where its inhabitants gather for important business of common concern. It appears that Redmond has found the heart of Elderwood. It looks like luck is on our side. That's only superstition, mutters Mora. No, especially in an old wood like this, an Elderwood where humans rarely visit. The pixie and fairy populations must be very large and powerful. They may even be able to help us find Valerian. And once found, they may even help us defeat him. Up the cock, squawks Thorn. That wasn't even amusing, declares Tyndall, sniffing huffily. So it's a magical creature meeting. Yep, that's what it sounds like. Hush, all of you, you say. The question is now that we know what the mound is. What do we do about it? As if in answer, the branches of the bushes on either side of you begin to part, and out pop two tiny men, each about the size of a kobold, only dressed quite differently in forest greens and browns. They also look decidedly human, though much smaller, each of them brandishing a tiny spear. Who might you be? Asked Mora in surprise. We're the official Elderwood welcoming committee, they reply in unison in tiny voices. Now march! Destroy it! You don't really think a couple of pipsqueaks like you, Mora begins. Trundle quickly interrupts. These are brownies, Mora, and brownies sometimes have magical powers. I think we better obey them. Grudgingly, Mora slumps her shoulders in resignation and joins you and the three of you allow yourselves to be led toward the fairy mound, with Thorn following in the air. Once you've passed through the bushes at the base of the mound and climbed a short incline, the mound flattens out into a fairly large oval-shaped area. Several dozen creatures are assembled at the far end of the oval, apparently involved in some sort of meeting. In the midst of them, you see the same girl you saw earlier being chased by the kobold and his pet boar. If possible, she seems even more breathtakingly beautiful than before. From the looks of things, she's the leader here. Welcome, friends, she calls as you approach the group. I see you finally found us. Good. We have been waiting for you for too long. Who are you? You ask in trance. I am called Anemone. Really? An enemy. Anemone. I am the sorceress of Elderwood. Excuse me, says Mora, pushing to the front of the group. You said you've been waiting for us? How is that possible when we didn't even know we were coming? It was ordained. Besides, sooner or later, fate would have brought you to us. The evil one would never be allowed to flourish forever. The evil one, you ask excitedly? Yes. An evil magician who has brought much sadness to Elderwood, but come, we have much to discuss. Emma! Yeah, it's spelled Anemone, so I'm going with Anemone. Let me see. signaling you out, and Anemone takes your hand and begins to lead you away. You turn and say reassuringly to your companions, "Don't worry, I won't let her take me far." And that would be the tiger right in the middle of the live stream. So let's see what Tiger has to say. Hey, what happened? Missed call. I was answering it. What happened?
Sorry, but the person.
Maybe she'll call back, or maybe she'll pop in. She knows I'm live. I told her I was going live time. She's in California, so I don't know. No. Don't strain yourself, kid. Just call her Anna. No, that's my mom's name. We're going with Anemone. More nods, but she looks doubtful. You get the feeling she doesn't trust this creature. Anemone leads you through the ledge that borders the mound, then out of the low area. The low area mounds all together. Area of mounds. As you walk, she tells you about the troubles the fairies, pixies, and other wee folk of Elderwood have been having. The situation, it seems, is not good. Once we were a happy community. Our pipers piped tunes, and we danced and laughed from morning till night. But all that has changed since the evil one has arrived, she said sadly. He has taken our laughter from us. I noticed that things seem rather glum around here, you say. That kobold I saw earlier looked downright nasty. Scree, down with kobolds! Long live Anemone! Thorn lights on your shoulder. You should have known that Mora would send him to keep an eye on you. Anemone, you say, I'd like you to meet Thorn. Thorn looks at her in that cockeyed way of his and out of the side of his head, and Anemone laughs, a soft, lilting laughter that you haven't heard until now. Sorry, I ain't gonna do it. Anna Banana Fofana. I haven't heard that in a long time. They used to party all the time. Yep, you party all the time. All right. Thorn, okay. Thorn and I are old friends, aren't we, Thorn? She says, smiling. Squawks the bird as he waddles off your shoulder and perches atop Anemone's outstretched finger. You never told me you kept such exalted company, you say to Thorn. I'll get around, says the bird. You and Anemone laugh, but she stops suddenly, and you sense immediately that something is troubling her, something serious. Do they wear their sunglasses at night? Probably. I would. You are wrong, Thorn, my friend, she says solemnly, about wanting to get rid of the kobolds. They are quite necessary to the balance of life here in Elderwood, as are all the creatures. It is not the kobolds themselves that are the problem, the fact that we have lost our protection against them. You are passing through a place in the forest where facings of limestone push up through the ground. You come now to one such cliff that seems to have been hollowed out to form a small niche. Anemone leads you inside, and you're surprised to find space enough in a little room for the two of you and Thorn. The evil one has taken something that is very precious to us. A gemstone of great power, the girl continues. Oh, see now I gotta get who are we giving the gemstone to? In one corner of the niche, the rock has been carved to form an altar. On the altar rest two cushions, one long and narrow, the other round. A stick-like object rests on the narrow cushion. The other cushion is empty. This once held the gem of Eldernath, said Anemone, sadly pointing to the empty cushion. The gem, along with its complement, the wand of Eldernath, has maintained a balance of magic in Elderwood that has lasted for eons. As long as the gem and the wand were together, the wee folk were able to turn invisible to protect themselves against the kobolds and other creatures. And now, you can plainly see the gem is missing. Are they talking about he who shall not be named? No, I don't think so. Not this time. Where is it now, you ask? The evil one has it. He said he needed it for one of his spells. At first he offered to buy it, but when we refused to sell it, he simply took it by force. Valerian, he breathed. You know this human? You bet I do. That's the man we've come to find. Can you tell us where he is? I'll do better than that, she says. I'll show you the way. I just heard about Ace Frehley. Yeah. He passed away today. One of the members of Kiss, the band Kiss. That's sad. But he was in his 70s, so he was getting up there. Let's see. You hasten back to the others. The meeting of the wee folk has disbanded, and you find Mora and Tyndall waiting patiently on the deserted mound. Quickly, you tell them Anemone's story. Mora is skeptical, but Tyndall acts excited. Yes, it would be Valerian, he says enthusiastically. He'd need a special gem to perform the Trap the Soul spell. Where else would he get it? Of course. But where is he now, you ask Anemone. Hiding in one of the great-grandfathers of Elderwood, she replies. Is that a great-grandfather, asks Mora, her eyebrows arching in disbelief. Yes, she says, inside a tree. A gigantic tree. A tree like no other in the world. How could a man hide inside a tree, Mora pursues, still unconvinced. Anemone doesn't answer. Instead, she beckons, and the four of you follow her down from the mound and deeper into the forest to a place you haven't seen yet. A dark place where the trees are netted with overhanging vines that block out even the murky light of Elderwood. You don't know who Ace Frehley is, Jess? Founder of Kiss, yeah. I only know Gene Simmons, sorry. And there's Peter Criss, Ace Frehley, and Gene Simmons, and I don't remember the other one. Offhand, anyway. I'd have to look it up, but yeah. I used to listen to the Kiss all the time. The God of Thunder and I Was Made for Loving You. Great songs, man. We'll rock and roll all night and party every day. All right. This is the oldest part of the forest, explains Anemone. It was here long before all the rest, even before the oldest of our songs was written. What a spook house, exclaims Mora, looking around the rotting moss and tangled vines. She tightens her grip on your arm. The path you've been following parallels a creek. You come to a place where the creek tumbles over a high waterfall. And as you look out from the height into the valley below, you see something you've never seen before. A tree towers high above its brothers. A tree the size of a mountain. The Bideo, she says, as Anemone says, it's the oldest tree in an ancient forest. Its branches send down millions of aerial roots. These roots intertwine until they become so thick they form solid walls. In this way, each branch makes a hallway that seems as though it has no ceiling. It seems to stretch up and endlessly into the darkness. In some places, the sunlight filters through, but for the most part, it remains dark and solemn. It has been a sanctuary in the wood for eons, a holy place. That is, until now. And this is where Valerian has taken the gem, asked Mora? Anemone nods solemnly. Then that's where we're going, you say, looking for a path to descend the hillside to the valley below. Wait, calls Anemone. There's one thing more. From out of the folds of her gossamer gown, she pulls a slender object. You recognize it as the stick-like object from the second pillow back at the altar, the wand of Eldernam. The vault that holds the gem may be wizard lock. If so, you'll need magic to open it. Take this and use its power, she says, handing you the wand. But beware, you are not by nature a wielder of magic. He who holds the wand must be pure purpose. It will do more harm than good. Hey, Tiger popped in. I tried to answer your call a little bit ago, darling, but good to see you, Tiger. Let's see, everybody saying hi. Don't forget to get a Logan. Excuse me. I need a drink. Don't forget to get a Logan plushie from the gift shop on your way out after the show. They make a great gift and are good for holding between your knees when you sleep while supplies last. Void where prohibited by law. What's up, darling? Didn't mean to call, sorry. That's okay. I was going to answer anyway. Okay. Thank you, Anemone. You say gratefully, pushing the wand through your belt. Now we must be off. The four of you journey through the dark, forbidding forest for many hours. but the Badao, like a distant mountain, seems to recede before you. It doesn't resemble a tree so much, as a great head with hair hanging down to the ground on all sides of it. Finally, weary hours later, you see a short distance before you what appears to be the structure's front door, a hole in its solid leafy wall. Several kobolds stand guard in front of the door. They don't notice as the four of you slip behind a bush some 30 yards away. No worries. There it is. Boom, boom, boom. And like I said earlier, the interior art's by Gary Williams, so it's pretty good. Cover art by Jeff Easley. This is a cool cover. Coming soon, the Just Law's adult warning bath mat. Oh, we can get a jump. There we go. Jess is in the chat, so it's all good. How can we get by them, you wonder aloud. You look to your three companions for suggestions. I'm not sure I want to go in there, says Mora. Have you ever considered how many supplies we could buy and how many mercenary soldiers we could hire if we sold that wand? With that kind of help, we could return to Trillium and drive Craddock and his army into the sea. I don't think that would be a good idea, Trindle begins, but Mora cuts him off sharply. Let's not forget the true purpose of our mission, she whispers with urgency. Our goal is to defeat Craddock, one way or the other. With a wand like that, any king's army would follow us. We could lead the most powerful army on Earth. No, Tyndall protests. The wand will bring calamity on us if we misuse it. Believe me, I know about such things. Oh, horse feathers, I'm tired of your silly superstitions, Tyndall Moore exclaims. I say we take the wand and make a run for it. What do you say, Redmond? Well, there it is. We got a new choice. Take our mulligan, G.I. Joe headquarters trading card. Are we going to enter the Badao tree and continue the search for the gem of Eldernath? Or are we going to abandon the quest for the gem and return to your homeland to sell the wand? Run! Phil wants to run! Oh boy. So, run and sell the wand or head on and continue the quest? Get the stupid gem. Yeah, okay. That's one for the gem, one for selling the wand. Change the music up. Run, Forrest, run! I can't stay. The dinner is being served. Okay, darling. It's okay. Thanks for popping in. And I got to answer. Look, we got Christopher Works in the house. Hello, bud. Fireballs. And yeah, just let it rain, buddy. What's up, all? Good to see you. All right, we're out of choice. You get the gem. You have a good night, darling. We'll see you later. Tiger, sorry, it's our cross. It was in the house. Go head out. Any 2 merch store items and get half off on a fab pair of Tiger Star Cross mildew resistant shower shoes. Probably. Yeah, hopefully Tiger will be on Fridays from the Hill tomorrow night. We're talking about the Nightmare Before Christmas. I've seen it before. I haven't watched it yet this week. I haven't seen it in a while, so I probably should watch it tonight. Maybe after I play some Days Gone, because I've been wanting to play that all day. We shall see. We got to do this first, because I'm having a good time. This is fun. So, go after the gem. We'll try to sell the wand. Everybody saying hi and bye. You're still there, Tiger. Have a good night. You'll face the peril instead. All right, that's 2 for going after the gem. Is Ray still in the house? Because Ray didn't say hi to Tiger, so I'm wondering. Ray is not in the house. Only if there are spankings after it. Spanking, spanking, spanking. I got my mustache trimmed just right. Oh, he's still driving? Probably, yeah. All right, well, that's two votes. Like, that's about as good as we're going to get tonight, I think. Kick in the door and steal the gems. That's 3. All right. That's more than half of who's here, so let's do it. Go after the gem. Page 119. 119 it is. Let's see where this leads. Sneak peek ahead. A lot of reading, lots of reading, and then I turn to another page. So we shall see. Let's see. Hashtag bad naughty newt. Not bad naughty newt. Yeah. No worries. Ray'll be back in soon enough, I hope. If not, I hope he has a good night and drive safe. It takes a while to make your decision, but when you do, you announce it in a steady, firm voice. You're right, Mora. Our goal is the free trillion, but Anamone's people are also being oppressed. It seems to me that King Craddock and Valerian, though enemies, are part of the same evil. We can either fight it here and now, or we can run away and fight it later. Personally, I vote for here and now. Mora looks shamefaced. You're right, Redmond. I guess one reason I said what I did is that I was getting jealous of Anemone. You smiled fondly at Mora. Did Anemone ever rescue me from an entire squad of King's Guard when I was wounded? Enough of that, you two, whispers Tyndall. Now that you've decided to enter the Vidal, Redmond, how do we get past the guards? Look! Caused Thorn. Below you is a road, and lumbering along it is a kobold. The 4 of you watch as it ambles up to the gate, grunts something at the guards, and continues on through the door. That gives me an idea, you say. Thorn, keep watch. Moore and Tyndall, come with me. No operating. No drinking and operating. Love triangle? Maybe. You lead them to another row of bushes right at the edge of the road. The next time a kobold comes by, we're going to ambush it. You tell them, Tyndall, do you know you could work? Do you think you could work a spell that would reduce our size? Not much, just a couple of feet or so. You forget that I was once your father's magician. What you ask is really nothing more than a parlor trick. Nothing more than a parlor trick. There we go. I know. I just want you to end up a newt. I just don't want to end up a newt or a frog or something. Shh, you two. I think I hear something coming. Someone coming. Down the road come 2 kobolds, grunting, sweating, and complaining about the load they are carrying. Between them, they carry a trophy, a pixie hanging upside down, trussed on a stick. The 2 evil little hunters are straining under the weight of it. Those 2 look just right, you say. How's that going to help? Hard enough to get them normal size, exactly. I don't know. We'll find out. You and Mora wait until they are even with you, then leap out at them. As small as they are, it doesn't take much to subdue them and tie them up. Then you release the pixie, who is so glad to be free. It scampers into the forest without a backward glance. Tyndall, meanwhile, has been preparing his spell. He sprinkles a powder over you that smells like cinnamon, and in the blink of an eye, you are no bigger than a kobold. You and Mora look at each other amazed. You see, says Tyndall, nothing to it. Not bad, Tyndall, you say. Now quickly, let's get into these kobold clothes. This smells terrible, Mora complains. Just put it on and take your own clothes. How long will the spell last, Tyndall? Just for a few minutes, but it should be long enough to get you past the guards. Good. You look at Mora with her hair pushed back under her the helmet and the kobold scaly armor. You think she might pass. We need one more thing to make sure this works. Here, you say, tossing Mora a piece of the kobold's rope. I have Tyndall. Mora gives you a questioning look, but proceeds to bind Tyndall's hands. Then the two of you lead him toward the gate. The two guards eye you suspiciously. You hold the kobold's tiny round shield up over your face and motion for Mora to do the same. Halt! Barks the guard. Who goes there? Patrol! You call out in a raspy voice. We've captured a magician. We must take him to Valerian at once. Love Triangle used to be your stage name, but that was long ago when I was more bendy. Let's see. The guard grunts and moves aside. Gratefully, the three of you hurry inside, where you release Tyndall. Who the fuck is Tyndall? Tyndall's our magician. He's been with us the whole time. He's the one with the accent. Let's see. The tree is everything Anamone said it was, and more. The hallways are vast. You look up, but you can't see the ceiling. Somewhere high above you is a branch that formed the roots that make up these walls. But from the ground, all you see is darkness. The walls, too, are different from anything you've ever seen. Millions of root tendrils are interlaced with each other to make a solid partition. In some places, it's very thick. In others, it's so thin you feel you could push through it to whatever lies beyond. Amazing, murmurs Tyndall, running his hands over the roof. Absolutely amazing. Tendrils, yes, sir. Hashtag geometry. You see a large figure coming your way in the torchlight. It's too big to be a kobold, but it's not human either. You motion to Mora and Tyndall, and the three of you duck into one of the many niches in the roof wall. As the figure swaggers past, you recognize it as an orc dressed in some sort of uniform. When the orc reaches the guard station at the end of the hall, you hear voices. It's the captain of the guard checking the watch, whispers Tyndall. Valerian would naturally use orcs, though more reliable than kobolds, and they love to bully anything smaller than themselves. Did you see the key dangling from his belt, Redmond? It looked like it was shaped like a letter H. Exactly. I saw a key like that once. A friend of mine, a great wizard, used just such a key to lock his chest of valuables. You think that key may lead us to something valuable? Perhaps. Let's just be thankful we got in here. Let's not worry about keys, said Mora. But you can't help thinking, what if Tyndall's right? That big orc has to come back this way. How difficult would it be to bump into it in the dark and steal the key? But on the other hand, you wonder, is it worth the risk? Get him! Christopher knows. It's a key, yes. Okay, so if you think you should try to steal the key, turn to page 69. If you decide to forget about the key and move on, turn to page 92. Mulligan page, guys. We got quite an adventure going after that dryad, right? We got Shalindri's wand. Oh. Makes me wonder if Lucas read The Prisoner of Elderwood, man. A lot of themes from this seem to have found their way into Willow, or maybe they're just normal tropes. I don't know. Key. Well, hopefully unlock something. Key, I guess. That's two. Okay. Phil, what do you think? Phil wants to get him, so yeah. Unless I get a naysayer, I think we're going and getting a key on page 69. Let's see what we got here. Oh, we got a choice right away. I think he's forgotten that he's short. Yeah. Okay. All right. Oh, orcs can't see well in the dark. You think to yourself. Then you get an idea. Why wouldn't they be able to see in the dark? That makes no sense. They live in the dark. Thorn, you whisper aloud. Immediately the bird flies to perch itself on your shoulder. You think you can imitate a bat? Oh, try me. Good. The orc walks past, fly into its face. Oh, a pleasure. Oh, come on. Thorn squeals. I'm sorry. You wait here, you say to Mora and Tyndall. I'm going on a little pickpocketing expedition. Be careful, Red, Mora says. For once, the girl is right, echoes Tyndall. Orcs can be very formidable up close. Don't worry, you reassure them. You step from the niche in the root wall and out into the passage. The orc is also a few yards away. The orc is only a few yards away. The trick, of course, lies in the fact that you are still the size of a kobold. It will be more difficult to bump into the orc, but once you do, perhaps you'll be too low to the ground for it to see you clearly. The orc comes into range, and with a flurry of wings, Thorn flies into his face. Now it's up to you. You dash directly for the orc's legs. It topples to the ground. Excuse me, sir, you say, in what you hope sounds like a kobold's voice. Let me help you up. You little son of an ogre! Bellows the ill-tempered orc, squinting in your face in the dim light. Dun dun dun! Son of an ogre! Interesting looking orc. The pig nose. Yeah. That's old D&D, AD&D too. You help the captain up, all the while moving your other hand stealthily toward the key. You feel it and are just about to lift it off when suddenly you feel yourself spring up in several feet in height. Tyndall's spell is worn off. Hey, shouts the orc, what is this? He grabs your hand by the wrist. Mind races. What should you do? Should you break and run? You might still be able to tell the orc a convincing story and steal the key. So, if you decide to break and run, turn to 85. If you elect to stand your ground and try to bluff it out, turn to page 73. So we got a new mulligan already. Wow. All right. I thought we were little. Yeah, well, the spell wore off. Never mind. Who's going to be the key master? No, yep. Stupid wizard, yep. He said it wouldn't last long, so, you know. You were hoping the spell would last a little longer. All right, so we run in or stand on our ground. Really want that key. Yep. I think we got the key. Are we running with the key? Let's see. So we got a hold of the key. Yeah. I'm not sure whether we have the key or not. It's not clear. All right, so running or standing our ground, guys. I'm pretty sure that's the fat dragon from D&D. Yeah, that was a cool movie. What? My inner raccoon wants that key. See, we still have to get the gem, which I think we need the key for. So, standing our ground, or are we running? Because I don't think we got it. It's unclear. We got a hold of it, but then we grew, and it's unclear whether we had the key or not. So, running or standing our ground. Ooh, doo, 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 doo. You guys thinking? Well, that would be standing our ground. You're asking Phil. I don't know if Phil's still here, but we still got 6 people in chat, so. L's at the door. So, standing your ground against the orc or running? I'm not sure if we got the key or not. Stand our damn ground. Key. So that would be standing our ground. And the Kroger's run. Okay, we're standing our ground. Let's see where we're supposed to turn here. If you elect to stand your ground and try to bluff it out, turn to page 73. Leads to a choice, so let's see what we get. You decide to stay and try to bluff it out. I don't remember you being this big when you knocked me down, the orc captain says suspiciously. Its beady eyes narrowing at you from either side of its pig-like snout. Suddenly you can't think of a thing to say. Your mind's a blank. Speak up, you! Who are you anyway? You are no kobold, that's for sure. At the moment, Thorn, realizing you're in danger, makes another pass at the orc's face. This time the orc brushes him aside easily. Ogreish bats, it exclaims. The orc captain pulls you closer in the dim light. You carrying any weapons or money? The stench of its breath nearly gags you. Get that friggin' orc, Captain. I think I'll search you before someone else does. The orc is amazingly strong. Its grip around your wrist hurts, all the way to the bone. But your other hand is free, as the orc greedily rummages through the pockets of your kobold disguise. It misses the wand of Elderwood tucked well down in your pants leg beneath your belt. However, with your free hand, you manage to get the key without the orc noticing. Nothing but kobold garbage, the orc captain grunts when it gets through. Guess I'll have to lock you up until Valerian can have a look at you. As the orc pulls you to your feet, you slip the key into your pocket. At the same time, you realize that the stupid orc has missed finding the knife in your jerkin. Okay, well. Drop the card naturally. The orc drags you down the hall toward where Mora and Tyndall are hiding. As you pass them, you pretend to stumble, giving you time to signal your friends to stay put. Can't you walk? Bellows the orc, pulling you upright. Come along! We've got a nice cell here for people like you. The orc drags you down hallways, even up a ladder. Finally, it pushes you down a black hole, and you feel yourself falling into a black abyss. You land hard on a mud-packed surface. You can smell it as you lie in it, face down. You don't seem to be hurt seriously, but your head is reeling. For a moment, you're not sure which way is up. Then you hear a sound, and the instinct tells you you're not alone. You feel inside the kobold's jerkin. Your knife is still there, concealed in an inside pocket. The clumsy orc must have missed it somehow. Should you use it against whatever it is you hear in the dark, or should you use the wand of Elderwood? So, use the wand or fight with your knife. Stab, stab, stab. Where's everyone else? I don't know, Jess. He's here to talk about tripping. We're going to talk about tripping. Right, yeah, he tripped over us earlier, but that was the plan. We wanted him to trip over us. All right, so we got a choice. Fight with your knife is on page 102, so that would be my choice just because of the page number. You choose the wand and turn to page 43. I don't know if we should waste that yet, guys, but, you know, it's up to you guys. Aw, oh, a songbird. Yep, Songbird is asking for a description of something, and I forgot to get it to her, so I'll have to get it to her after the show. Okay, Fireball! That's LDS. Well, whoever is in with us might be nice. Fireball. Third choice, talk to it. There's no choice, no. Attack the darkness, yeah. So the choice is dagger or wand, guys. We may not have to fight, but, you know, we just go using the wand. I don't know if that's a pure of heart purpose either. So it's up to you guys. Both? Yeah, we can't choose both. Attack? Yeah, wand or dagger. Okay, we got 1 vote for dagger. Dagger. Whatever is the least aggressive. That's hard to say because you don't know what that wand's gonna do. Wand. Okay, so one. Hey, did you vote for that just because Jeff voted for dagger? All right, we're getting dagger or wand, Chris. It's the music I generated for this episode, but it's a little actiony. Okay. You predict the wand will cause it to grow feathers and take us out to dinner. Dagger. Okay, I got 2 for dagger, Phil. You're outvoted again. So we're going to go to page 102. Thank you. I like this decision. It leads us to an end. We're all going to die. Damn it! All right, let's read this ending. You pull your knife out in the darkness. It feels like an extension of your arm, deadly and efficient. Maybe you'll get through this. Find the gem and rescue the king's daughter yet. A boot scrapes the floor somewhere off to your left. You swing around and face it. And you hear a scuffling to your right, followed by a rustling sound. How many of them are there anyway, you wonder? Suddenly a voice hisses behind you. You spin around to face it, realizing that whatever creatures are with you in the darkness, they have you surrounded. Your heart begins to beat wildly, and your hand tightens around your knife hilt. Whoever they are, they won't get you without a fight. From the other side of the room, a glow suddenly appears, casting soft light on everything around it. To your amazement, you see that the glow is coming from a horse-like creature standing near the opposite wall. In the light from the creature, you see that the room is crowded with wee folk. Relief floods, though, as you realize that these people are your friends. You lower your knife and begin to relax. On second glance, you notice that the glowing creature isn't a horse, but a unicorn. You know that the unicorns are very peculiar creatures. They can spot an enemy at long distance. And once they're convinced they're facing an enemy, there's no talking them out of it. They begin to glow, and then they charge, and there's no defense. Unicorns are magical, and their attack is always successful. You see the crowd of little folk part, and the unicorn lowers its horn. You drop to your knees to the floor and hold up both palms before you. Wait a minute there, I'm a friend, you cry out in desperation. I'd never used this knife on these little people. But you know it's too late. The unicorn has already made up its mind. The end. We got killed by a unicorn! How often does that shit happen? Weed folk, little folk. Weed folk, easier to sneak up on. The unicorn should be able to get out of there. Yeah, but it couldn't, apparently, and decided that we were a threat and ended us. Boom. Game over. Okay, we're going to go back to the mulligan page, and we're going to use the wand. Well, Phil, you get your way after all. It's because we aren't virgins. There you go. What the fuck? Start over there. No, we're just going back to the last mulligan page, and we're going to use the wand and see what happens. 43. All right, let's see what goes on. What goes on here? Ooh, got a cool picture. Another, it goes to a decision, so we keep going on this one. We folk, yes. I'm going to be getting into this, people. You decide the situation is serious enough to use the wand, despite Anamon's warning. You peer into the darkness after your experience with the orc. Anything could be in here with you, but how many and what their disposition is, you can only guess. Anxiously, you edge the wand of Eldernath into your hand. You're going to fight whatever's here with you. If it comes down to that, you've come all this way to find the gem and rescue Craddock's daughter, and you can't let them stop you now. The wand feels strangely delicate. You know nothing about magic. You're taking a huge chance. You hold the wand up, your heart pounding. Nothing will happen. You keep telling yourself the wand won't backfire. Suddenly, to your amazement, the wand begins to glow. You hear gasp, and in the light from the wand, you see crowds of wee folk all around you. Little people dressed in all garb of the forest. They're watching you intently, their little eyes aglow. He has the wand, one of them whispers excitedly. The word passes through the assemblage like wind through the leaves of a tree. A shout goes up, the wand, get it! Hundreds of tiny hands pull on your clothes and hair. You kick out at them repeatedly, but there are too many. Their little fingers all grope for the wand. You hold it high over your head, but some of them crawl up to perch on your shoulders, stretching their little arms to high to reach it. Don't they realize I'm their friend, you think desperately? If only I knew some simple magic. Spells, a ball of lightning, anything to make them stop and listen to me. I swear he's saying weed. Bastards! There you go, bastards! Bastardos! Let's see. Suddenly, a huge ball of fire leaps from the end of the wand, climbs up about 10 feet in the air above you, and explodes with a loud crack. You stare up at it dumbfounded. You had no idea you had it in you. Meanwhile, the little people have all fled. You hold the wand high again, trying to see them better. Some of the wand's brilliance seems to have faded. A bomb! Fireball! Christopher Ward! Fireball! Leprechauns! Groping bastards. Hey, I think that's the first fireball we've had in this quest book. That's cool that you were here, bud. I'm your friend, you say loudly. I'm called Redmond. I've come on behalf of Anemone and her people to steal the gem of Eldernath from the evil Valerian and restore order to Elderwood. Anemone herself gave me this wand to help me in my quest. There's silence for a moment. Then the little folk begin to mumble among themselves. Soon one brave little fellow, his jacket a deep forest green, steps forward. Please forgive us, he begins. Most of us have dwelled peacefully in this forest for all our lives. Then suddenly the evil one enters our peaceful land, and orcs and kobolds and all sorts of horrible creatures descend upon us and throw us in this cell. Some of us have been here for a long time. I'm afraid we've come to regard everyone as an enemy. Do you know Anemone, you ask? I'm her brother Tick. May I please hold the wand? You hand him the glowing rod. Just like that, huh? Okay, I need to let the cat out before she knocks something down. I will take a moment and be right back. Come on, little girl. You outside. Know what you want. Come on, I'll let you out. Thank you. But don't let her out. She starts knocking my stuff down. Little brat. Alright, so better that than have an incident. Hey, cheers! Who let the cats out? Meow, meow, meow. Yes, sir. That would be me. I don't know. Alright. All right, I've never seen it before outside its resting place. He holds it up admiringly. It is fortunate, indeed, that this instrument should come into our possession just at this time. Shortly before you came, we had reached a desperate decision. We finally agreed to let the unicorn project one of us out of this place in order to go for help. We were just about to choose the one to go. It's a very dangerous spell, especially for the one who is being projected. But with this, he says, indicating the wand, no one needs to go. We can use its wonderful magic to break the seal on the door. Not right away you can't, croaks a small but firm voice behind him. A little old man with a twig of polished oak for a cane steps forward. Have you forgotten? Once the wand has been used, it takes time to rebuild its power. And unfortunately, Master Redmond just used it when he frightened us all half to death with his display of fireworks. You're right, Snowhair, says Tick. I forgot, but the wand can't be used immediately. How long does the wand need to rebuild its power, you ask anxiously? I have friends that waiting outside. We have to find Valerian and try to steal back the gem. You may have to put off your quest, says Tick. No one knows how long the wand takes to recharge itself. That information was lost years ago when the wizards who created Elderwood gave us the wand for safekeeping. Mischievous Kitty, yeah. What the fuck are they talking about? This is a good question. But we have to get out somehow, you cry. Says Tick says. Perhaps you'd like to volunteer to be projected. Obviously use the unicorn as a weapon. There you go. You listen. Oh, okay. Redmond, perhaps you'd like to volunteer to be projected, Redmond. Although you must understand that the dangers are great. The unicorn was brought here under cover of darkness. She has never seen the place that she must transport you to. Therefore, she could easily make a mistake. You listen to what Tick is telling you with growing alarm. You were counting on the wand to get you out of tight places like this, but you didn't know there was a delay involved between uses. Now you're not at all sure you want to trust the unicorn's magic. On the other hand, the thought of Mora and Tyndall out there alone fills you with dread. You and your friends were only just reunited. You couldn't bear to lose them now. Perhaps there is another solution. You haven't had a chance to look around the cell. There might be some other way out. At any rate, you've got to decide. Should you consent to the risky spell, or should you wait, even though you haven't had any idea whether Mora and Tyndall are safe? They might very well be in trouble. You decide to submit to the unicorn spell. Turn to page 110. If you want to see if you can discover another way out, turn to page 106. Projected where? That is the question, yes. So, teleported by the unicorn, or look for another way out? Those are our choices. Teleport. All right, we got one for teleport. Another option. That's looking around. All right. As usual, you two are of opposite minds. That used to be Phil's stage name, of Opposite Minds. Right, Phil? Maybe a fly will accidentally get in with us. There you go. Beam me up, Scotty. That's 2 for teleport. Okay. We're going on a wild ride. Mr. Toad's wild ride. Nice. Probably get teleported inside a wall. We'll see. Gotta have some drink here. This has been a good one. Bit to the unicorn spell, page 110. All right, lots of reading. And the end. All right, you guys led us to another end. Let's see what happens. Awfully important that I get back to my friends, you say. I guess I'll have to take a chance on being projected. That's the spirit, exclaims Tick enthusiastically. Step right this way. Takes you by the hand, and the other little people follow as he leads you to stand before the unicorn. The beautiful creature is still glowing softly. What a magnificent animal, you think. Truly, it is the most beautiful creature I've ever seen. The unicorn seems very much aware of its impressive appearance. It holds its single horn high as it gives you a curious look down the length of its slender, tapered muzzle. You scarcely know how to begin. These people, you begin. The wee folk press in on all sides, eager to see. Their hands and faces glistening in the soft light emanated from the unicorn. These people say you're able to magically project someone out of here. You begin again. I'd like to volunteer. The unicorn eyes you closely. You are human, are you not? Yes. Mortal too? Very. You've been to the astral plane. Have you been to the astral plane before? More beautiful than the Dryad? Maybe not. Damn it, yeah. Have I been to the astral plane? No, but I haven't. I have heard about it. Have you? And did they tell you about the psychic wind? The predator who hunts the airy region for newcomers? Novices who haven't gotten their legs yet, so to speak? The unicorn eyes you sternly. No, I've never heard of the psychic wind. but I'm willing to fight it if I have to. The unicorn makes no reply, but instead looks at you strangely. Its eyes are old and full of wisdom, but as you look at as they look at you now, they seem to be filled with pity. We responded to one of my messages. Nice. Okay. Whoops! Part of the book came off the back. Interesting. So, you're laughing at the psychic wind. Yep. Psychic wind. He breaks psychic wind. There you go. Okay. Very well, it says with finally. Empty your pockets, please. You take out your knife, the wand of Eldernath. I thought the other guy had the wand, but okay. And the key you stole from the captain of the guard and lay them beside you. Oh, we did get the key. Okay, there it is. Now concentrate, says the unicorn. The wee folk look at you expectantly. You close your eyes. A strange power surges towards you from the unicorn, a pressure that seems to carry you up and up. After a short time, you feel you must be on the astral plane. Eerie, unfamiliar sounds reach your ears. Finally, you open your eyes. You're still in the same place. The unicorn and the little people are all present, but their outlines are fuzzy. It's as though they've all started to turn to smoke. Suddenly, the scene begins to change. The outlines of figures melt and reform into other outlines. You realize this must be what the unicorn meant by projecting. You're moving through the astral plane. Gradually, you start to land, even though you've had no sensation of movement. Your surroundings come into clearer focus. Let's see. Well, I need to get to bed. Going to the long day. Going to be a long day tomorrow. Good night, Christopher. Thanks for hanging out with us. Hope you had fun. We got a fireball in for you. I need to know how old the unicorn is. I have no idea, Jess. Why do we have to empty our pockets? Now, I was curious about that myself. Here we go. We're almost to this ending, so we'll see what happens, Christopher. Okay. You see, you're in a passageway by a door. It must be the door to the wee folks' place of imprisonment. The shapes before you become clearer and clearer. Old enough to know better. You're almost there. Then suddenly a breeze, or what feels like a breeze, begins to whistle mightily, and the smoky objects around you begin to swirl. One color mixes with another, and their outlines start breaking apart. A dreadful thought comes to you: the psychic wind. Frantically, you grope through the mist, trying to get back to where you were, but it's no use. Then, even the smoke begins to fade as it disappears. A new scene forms before you. You're on a vast desert, and it's night, and the wind is howling. In the distance, you see a light, the only identifiable feature on this desolate landscape. The light somehow seems friendly. You start to move towards it. As you walk, you shed memories of your previous existence, like the costumes of a play on which the curtain has fallen. You were Redmond Longbow, citizen of Trillium, charged with the responsibility of saving these people by finding a mysterious gem and rescuing a princess. But all that is forgotten now. You are stepping into a new world, and when you arrive, your mind will be as fresh and blank as the day you were born. We died! Oh, oh boy! And the end, yes, we died! Went to the astral plane and died, just straight up, dead. All right, no more mulligan. We got one more chance here. We're going to go back, and if you want to see if you can discover another way out, like Jess wanted, turn to page 106. What the fuck? Yeah. This is it, guys. If this leads to an end, we're done. This is over. Okay. Got some reading. And please turn to a page. Okay. All right. This looks promising. Let's not be hasty about this, you said a tick. Maybe there's another way out of here. Is there a torch we could light? We folk don't need torches, Redmond. We all have night vision. What about the unicorn? Does it always glow like that? I glow, as you call it, when I'm frightened. As I was when you were thrown in here amongst us, answers the unicorn. And you needn't speak of me as though I wasn't here. I can converse very well for myself. As strange and wondrous as Elderwood is, you still find it difficult to believe a horse-like creature can talk. Yet, talking it is, as if steps towards you in the crowd of wee folk. I can, however, control the intensity of my glow, if that is what you are asking. To make it glow a bit brighter right now so I can see to explore around here. What for, asked Tick? We've searched high and low. There's no way out. You're probably right, Tick, but I'd like to have a look for myself. As you wish, says the unicorn. It begins to glow more brightly. In moments, the entire room is filled with bright light. You see now that you're in an enclosure that is surrounded by a network of living roots. The roots begin in the ceiling, which is pointed like the inside of a Tyndall's hat, then widen to form a round enclosure. The walls are layers of millions of roots bonded together to form a solid surface. Roots. And although they may look porous, they're as solid as oak. In the end of this root room is a door, also pointed at the top, like the ceiling. Where does that door lead, you ask, walking over to it? Tick and the other wee folk follow, as does the unicorn. We don't know, Tick replies. It's locked. We haven't been able to open it. Maybe they used light, they would have found something, night seers. Yes, exactly. You stoop to examine it. To your amazement, you find a keyhole in the shape of an H. Look, you shout excitedly. Tick stands on tiptoe to peer into the hole. Intriguing, isn't it? He asked with a twinkle in his eye. But we haven't found anyone small enough to fit into the hole. Laughter erupts from the wee folk. Even the unicorn sways back and forth to show its amusement. The denizens of the forest apparently love a good joke, even in prison. But you don't understand, you say. You pull out the key that you stole earlier. For a split second, no one says a word. All eyes are focused on the slender object in your hand. Then pandemonium breaks loose. Even the unicorn prances like a little jig. Where did you get it? Tick asks over the din. He takes it from you to examine it. I'm the captain of the guards. All right, everybody, calm down, Tick shouts, gesturing for them to be quiet. We still don't know if it works. Nah, wee folk. Only one way to find out, you say. You take the key and carefully fit it into the lock. When you turn it, the door springs open. Ah! Breathe the little people in unison. They crowd forward to be the first to leave. Wait a minute, you shout, blocking the doorway. You can't just go just yet. What? They shout in disbelief. Several shake their tiny fists, and the littlest of them stamp their feet. Let us out, they shout. You look at Tick for support, but he's staring at you in amazement. Listen, you call out above the din. I still have a job to do. I have to steal back the gem of Eldernath. It's the only way to rid Eldernath of Valerian. But to do it, I'm going to need your help. Wait here till I send word, and come out fighting. It may draw their attention long. It may draw their attention long enough for me to find the gem. But what if you don't succeed? Asked Tick. What should we do then? Wait until the guards discover that the door is unlocked? Give me an hour. If you don't hear from me by then, flee any way you can. Grumblings accompany the wee folk as they reluctantly back away from the door. I guess an hour isn't so bad, says Tick, but no longer, Redmond. No longer, you say, and start to slip through the door, but Tick calls after you. Redmond, be careful. The Jam of Eldernath. Turn to page 88. All right. Well, got no choices here. This is it. And this is the ending tonight, guys. Oh, no, it isn't. I'm looking at the wrong page. 88 has choices. So, wrong. I'm wrong. Sorry. Leaving Tick and the other wee people behind, you head toward what you guess is the middle of the tree. The passage is dark, but like everywhere in the Dow, this is faint. There is faint light. It's as though the mammoth tree is able to diffuse the sunlight among its millions of hanging roots. Yay, toast! Soon you come to a fork in the passage. The left-hand path is even darker than the one you're in. The right-hand corridor seems to lead to a well-lighted hallway where there seems to be a great deal of activity. You're tempted to go to the right, curious to discover what could be going on down there. On the other hand, the risk of being spotted is much greater in the lighter passage. Okay, you decide to go left into the dark passage, start down it, turn to page 104. If you want to go to the right towards the activity, turn to page 79. So, got a new mulligan page. Left or right? Left to the dark, right to the light. You guys, I'm getting parts of this book falling off the back. It's just crumbling down at the bottom and on the cover there. Really old book. All right, left or right, guys. Always left. Yeah, I'm there. I'm right there. Don't walk into the light. All right, we're in unison on this one, guys. We're going dark. All right, you got a picture too. Let me show you the picture first, and then I'll read. Looks like we got more choices here too. You grope along the dark passage until you see light ahead. When you get closer, you realize the light is streaming around the edge of the doorway that stands slightly ajar. You creep up and peer through the door. The room looks like a kitchen. Pots and pans are strewn everywhere. Caskets of food have been left to rot, and a mound of garbage is giving off a powerful odor. In the midst of the refuse, two kobolds are trying to sort out the mess, making two piles, one edible garbage and the other made up of scraps of food so rotten that even a kobold wouldn't eat them. The sight makes you feel sick. You turn away accidentally, bumping the door. The two kobolds turn towards you. Quickly you slip into the shadows, hoping they haven't seen you. The kobold's beady eyes squint in your direction. "Who's there?" growls one of them. The other drops the mealy-looking piece of meat he was holding and starts towards you. Obviously, they can see in the dark better than you thought. You retreat back into the larger passage and look for somewhere to run. Both ways are dark. You could go to the right, back the way you came from, or you could go to your left into an unknown area. Don't walk into the light. All right. Right or left again into more darkness, guys. Same choice, different place. This has been a good one. Lots of choices, and we died a couple of times, but I think it's a record. Twice. We died once in Endless Quest before, but not twice, I don't think. Left. All right, same answer. All right, there we go. So we're going left into the unknown dark area, page 54. That's our new mulligan page. Page 54 is where we're going. All right. Oh, look at this. Oh, we're fucking. We gotta be dead. Oh my goodness. The picture alone. No, at least the choices. So there it is, an ant keg. Wow. Let's find out what happens. Big bug. You plunge into the dark passageway, and in a short time it begins to narrow. You can hear the difference in the echoes of your footsteps. Soon you come to a single burning torch, mounted into a bracket on the wall. There's a sign below it. Beware the ant keg. The sign reads, "There's no time now to wonder about what that means." The footsteps behind you are getting closer. Whatever an ant keg is, it doesn't seem to be frightening the kobolds. You hesitate only a second, then rush headlong into the dark. Suddenly you feel the floor begin to move beneath your feet. You have the dizzying sensation of riding a whale. Then the floor splits, and the most leprous, vile-looking head you've ever seen breaks through the surface of the floor. Its skin is iridescent, and its black eyes glitter like stones. What the fuck is that? Yeah, there you go. You fall back against the wall, staring in amazement. You've never seen anything like this creature. It has the body of a centipede, only it's 20 feet long, and its huge feelers that wave frantically in the air. The feelers beat the ground like a blind man's cane. The creature's obviously looking for something, food no doubt, and the first item on the menu is you. You're trapped with the ant keg, or ant keg, however you spell it, ant keg. in front of you and the kobolds behind you. You can either try to fool this thing by being very quiet in the dark and hope it doesn't find you, or you turn around and take your chances with the kobolds. A third possibility is to charge the Ankh and take your chances with it. So we got a new mulligan page with 3 choices. There's the Ankh, or however you say it, Big Bug. And our choices: keep quiet and remain where you are and hope that the Ankh won't find you. Turn to page 136. Choose to try your luck with the kobolds. Turn to page 35. If you decide to charge the Ankh, turn to page 140. Sneaky in the dark. Yeah, naked. Eat the kobolds. I don't know. Well, what do we choose here? Our choices are: try to be quiet, try your luck with the kobolds, or charge the Ankh. Up to you guys. Attack, hide, or go back to the kobolds. Stay still. All right. What you say, Phil? That would be sneaky in the dark. It's up to you, bud. Thinking. Jeopardy music. Stay still and huddle in fear. Okay, all right. Stay still. Be quiet, remain where you are, and hope that the Ankh won't find you. Turn to page 136. So, mulligan page in there. See what we got going on. Man, this one just keeps going on and on, doesn't it? Feels like Night of the Tiger all over again. Okay, whoa. Okay, this leads to choices. Okay, all right. And have a new mulligan page after this. But what's it doing here? Asked Moira. They thought the sword. What? No, that can't be the right page. 136. Oh, I got the wrong page. We don't have Moira with us. Okay, that's what I thought. I was right the first time. Oh, check it out. The sight of the terrible Ankh has you trembling with fear. Its long, glowing body and blank black eyes are the most hideous things you ever see. You crouch into a ball and throw your arms over your head. Maybe if you can make yourself small enough, the Ankh won't see you. You hear its huge jaws snapping just above you. Suddenly you realize how silly it is to think you can hide from it. Maybe you should run now while there's still a chance. You start to get to your feet, but your legs are paralyzed with fear. You hobble a step, then fall. Apparently this is what the Ankh has been waiting for. Its head turns toward the sound, and its huge feelers pat over you like soft, scaly lengths of rope. You shiver with disgust. Suddenly a horny pincer sweeps up your leg, hoists you into the air, and drops you. You just have time to hope as you descend toward the huge black hole between the fearsome creature's crushing jaws, that Tyndall and Moira have better luck. The end. That's 3 times! We have 3 times! Well, fucking fuck. There you go. All right. All right, back to the mulligan page, guys. Try your luck with the kobolds, or decide to charge the Ankh. So, horny pincer, yes. Sorry, I was joking on that word myself, but okay, kobolds are in fight. And I gotta say, if we get another ending, that's it. We're over 2 hours, so if we get another ending, that is our ending right there. Whatever it is, that's where we're at. Kobolds, okay, kobolds, lots of kobolds. Page 35. All right, look, okay, it's another ending. But I'll tell you what, we'll try the other one too, just to see what happens. All 3 endings, because this one's an ending too. Oh, okay, wait a minute. It said we go for the kobolds, right? Try your luck with the kobolds, 35. Okay. Look at the hideous gyrating body of the Ankh, then take out your knife and dash back into the direction you came from. There we go. You will keep going till we complete the mission, soldier. In the light of the torch you passed earlier, you see 25 or 30 guards. The little creatures shout like angry children as they scramble towards you armed with spears. The first two kobolds go down with a swift kick. You swing with your left hand and two more go flying. You kick a fifth in the shield and send him sprawling into a crowd of others, knocking them down. But another 5 or 6 manage to pierce you with their spears. You feel pain throb in your side. You look down and find a spear in your ribs. You grimace and jerk it out. Most of the scaly creatures rush you. I'm laughing. I'm sorry, guys. This is supposed to be serious, but we're fucking dead again. As you cutting back, their bodies accumulate at your feet, but more seem to take their place. You cry out, but nothing stops their attack. Before you lose consciousness, you see a big orc standing over you, grinning. You work your knife hand free, and you hurl the blade straight into its heart. You know you haven't long. The spears of the kobolds are tearing your flesh. But even through your pain, a smile of satisfaction crosses your lips as you took the orc along with you. Jerk it out. What's up, Ray? No. Four times, guys. All right, we got one more option, okay? And that's it. If it ends, that is it. Oh, let's attack the Ankh. So I don't know what our chances are going to be like. And this has got to be a record. The most times died on reading an Endless Quest book. Oh, shit. Turn to page 140 to attack the Ankh. Oh, we're going to go to a bad end. I just know it. Oh, my goodness. Oh, this one turned to page 76, so I don't know. We'll see. New record, yes, sir. Most times died reading Endless Quest book on this show. It's too big. Yeah. That was a bloody end, man. But we killed that orc. We went out taking an orc. That was badass. Oh man, Bruce Algerson, what a writer. Okay, the sight of the Ankh fills you with fear. You want to cower on the ground, but you know you can't. You must survive to find the gem, free the king's daughter, and save your people. All your countrymen in Craddock's vile prisons are counting on you. Resolutely, you pull out your knife. You wait until the creature throws back its massive head, then leap with a mountain yell towards the middle of its shell-like underbelly and begin to stab furiously. Stabby, stabby! That was the least pathetic death. Yes, that was. Yes. The Ankh's hide is like armor. You thrust and thrust, but you can't penetrate him. Meanwhile, the creature's angry screeches fill the air. The Ankh twists and turns, trying to fling you off. But you grab onto its slimy scales and hold on for dear life. You keep stabbing and stabbing, and the monster goes into a frenzy. Thunderous rumblings issue from its stomach. Its legs begin to twist, as though it were in the throes of death. You sense something is about to happen. Suddenly, a convulsive shudder racks every inch of the huge worm-like creature's body, and it rears back on its tail, lifting its scaly legs off the ground, and throws itself forward. A gusher of vile green liquid squirts from the Ankh's mouth, a stream so concentrated and thrown with such force that it sails for what must be 30 feet. What's the writer's name? Man, Bear, Pig? Bruce Algerson. Eyes, yes, eyes. In the shadow of the Ankh's body, you see the kobolds rush forward, and the streams of bile meets them head on. Oh, that's it. Okay. What happens next? You can only hear the screams of the kobolds, the unrelenting hiss of the bile. Then suddenly there's silence. You guess the bile must have been stomach acid. No doubt highly corrosive. It must have eaten through the kobolds in seconds. The Ankh, you notice, is going through yet another change. Its head slumps forward, and its legs begin to limp. Spitting the stomach acid seems to have exhausted it. It groans and begins to lay its enormous bulk down on the passage floor. When it gets close to the ground, you hop off and run for your life. just as the huge creature rolls over onto its back, narrowly misses you. Which way now, you ask yourself when you are a safe distance away. You want to find more on the others, but the way you entered this area is swimming in a bile. And the other way, beyond the Ankh-egg, is probably largely unexplored. No one would ever go that way, not without the danger of ending up as dinner for the Ankh-egg. On the other hand, you think maybe for the very reason it's worth a try. That very reason. Your mind made up, you head off through the dim hall that lies beyond the Ankh-egg's body. You haven't gone far when you hear a sudden flapping of wings above you. Thorn, you cry! The great black bird lights on your arm and looks at you quizzically. Fun and games! Fun and games! Yo, that's bullshit! That's the way to do it. It's bullshit, I like it. Oh! Go ahead and make light of it, you exclaim. I nearly got eaten by a giant centipede, and you make jokes? The bird says nothing and merely cocks its head first one way, then the other. All right. Maybe you're right, Thorn. Maybe it's such a big deal. It isn't such a big deal. Come on, let's see where the passage leads. You move cautiously down the passageway with Thorn perched on your arm. Before long, a faint glow breaks the gloom. It seems to be coming from up ahead. Moving closer, you see another huge tuberous root. That has been carved into a house, only this one is much larger than the one you saw earlier. Hairy towers of roots shoot far up from the distance. The light is coming from several windows carved into the side of the house. In front of the house runs a broad street, with wagons and carts driven by kobolds and orcs going to and fro. I think we found it, you whisper excitedly to the bird. Valerian's refuge. Go, Thorn. Fly. Out of the Bedell. Back to Anemone and her friends. Tell the little people to prepare to attack. Unless I miss my guess, we're going to need them very soon. The sleek bird takes to the air, and in a flutter of wings, you watch as he disappears into the darkness, back into the direction you came from. Tubulus used to be my state's name. Damn ravens and their jokes. Just happens to melt all the kobolds. Yeah, just happens. Okay, please turn to page 76. This is it. You got any choices? This is it. Wherever we're going, this is on. Oh, it's another one. Turn the page. We're going back and forth in this book. Open the door. Well, I don't know. We'll see what's going on. Getting into Valerian's stronghold proves to be easier than you thought. Really. You slip by a doddering old kobold guard at the door and find yourself facing a set of doors that look as if it could lead into Valerian's chambers. You pass through the doors and find yourself in a dark corridor. Making your way down the corridor, you discover quite by accident a soft spot on the root wall. Curious, you push against it. I keep wanting to say root. I don't know why. And the roots appear the roots part to either side. It's a secret entrance. And what's more, it looks like it will lead directly inside Valerian's chamber. You're about to investigate the new discovery where the light of the torch in the corridor casts the shadows of two figures creeping silently up the hall. You can hardly believe your eyes. It's more of Tyndall. Yes, guess what? It's Tiger again. Hello.
Hello?
Yeah, I'm still live. What's up?
Oh, just a quick question. Did they bring in the groceries?
Are they here?
Yeah.
Then no. I'll see if I can get them up here to do that.
I'll get them.
Okay, we'll see you later. No problem.
Bye.
Bye. That's a tiger twice. Oh, you got to hear her voice too. It makes sense now. I was behind Tubulus redeeming. Okay. You edge around a huge root pillar, and when they are practically near enough to reach out and touch them, you leap out and out at them. Redmond, Moore exclaims angrily when she realizes who it is. Don't do that. I'll second that, agrees Tyndall, straightening his robes after having jumped halfway across the corridor. Oh, come on, you two. Aren't you even glad to see me? When I saw you creeping along like that, I couldn't resist. How'd you get in here anyway? Did you convince the guards you were orcs? You asked, indicating the orc uniforms they're wearing. We found these in a cache of equipment like them. Asks Mora, spinning halfway around to show off her new wardrobe. Very becoming, you say. And Valerian's house is right at the end of the main passage, asked Tyndall. It's easy to find. You should have stayed with us. Yes, I should have. But now that we're here, says Mora, how do we get in? No problem, you say. You lead your friends across the hall to the soft spot in the wall. You push against it, and just as before, the root stands apart, revealing the narrow passageway beyond. Let's see where it leads, you say. When the three of you have crowded into the passageway, you begin to edge your way toward a crack of light you see ahead, streaming in and around the edges of the door. As you approach, you realize that the secret passage ends in a closet inside the room. As you put your ears to the door, you hear muffled voices. Turn to page 116. Do these orcs' pants make my ass look fat? There you go. 116. All right. We got another choice at the end of this one, man. This one's going on. Yes, they do. At first, you can barely make out the voices, but you recognize the grunts of the captain of the guard. The other voice must belong to Valerian. Then the voices move nearer. I don't see why you don't give me the gem, says the orc. My dear captain, I'm afraid that's impossible. You say, says the second voice. I could never entrust anything of such importance to anyone but myself. You forget how you came by that stone, Valerian. If it weren't for the brute strength of the orcs you're so fond of sneering at, you wouldn't have it at all. Quite true, Captain, but it's important, nevertheless. What is important is that What is important is that I have the stone, and I intend to keep it. Now, if you'll excuse me, I have work to do. Your feet stamp in anger. Then you hear the sound of a door slamming. The crack at the closet door is wide enough to give you a partial view of the room. You see Valerian seat himself at a table. On the table is a small chest. The magician is just in the process of putting something into it when he's interrupted by a knock at the door. Who is it? He calls irritably. You can't hear the reply, but it sounds urgent. Valerian strides to the door. When he returns, he's extremely agitated. Quickly, he puts something inside the chest and closes it. Then, from his robe, he pulls out a second chest, an exact duplicate of the first, only much smaller. Holding the second chest and touching the first with his other hand, he mumbles something. To your amazement, the larger chest instantly vanishes. Then Valerian takes the smaller chest, places it under a bell jar, and leaves the room. He must have had the gem on him, he whispered excitedly, leaving the closet. Nah, you're eating sawdust. There you go. What makes you say that? Moore asked, following you into the room. Because he hid something in the chest before he disappeared. Didn't you see? No, I didn't, she says, her eyes darting around the room suspiciously. All I could see was your back. Are you sure it was the gem? Could have been anything, says Tyndall, pulling his old body out of the closet. But he hid something in that chest that made it disappear, Ewan says. Then he put a miniature of the chest in this bell jar. You move over to the table where Valerian is working. Isn't it unlikely, though, that he'd be carrying the gem around with him, asked Mora? Not if he was worried someone might try to steal it. What do you think, Tyndall? Did that spell sound like any spell you've heard? Many times, the old wizard replies. The spell is called Layman's Magic Chest. By using two chests, the magician is able to transport the first chest to the astral plane. The second chest acts as a sort of an anchor so the first chest doesn't drift away. The only way to get the first chest back to this plane is with the second. Of course, you have to know the right incantation, which you don't, asked Mora. Precisely, says Tyndall. Now here's where I could conceal the gem. I would conceal the gem if I were Valerian. He moves to what appears to be a set of shelves of leather-bound books that extends from the floor to almost shoulder height. You see, these only look like shelves of books. In actuality, they're made from wood that cleverly disguised to look like books. Tyndall reaches out one hand and knocks on the panel. Oh no, just as I suspected. Not the psychic wind again? I hope not. No, now the Valerian's going to break psychic wind. That's amazing, you exclaim, coming over and examining the panel for yourself. These tricks aren't new, Tyndall goes on. They've been handed down from magician to apprentice for centuries. Redmond, please hurry, urges Mora from the other side of the room. I'm afraid Valerian is going to come back any minute. What should we do? You ask the old magician. Try to retrieve the chest from the astral plane? Or open this compartment? My boy, I'm afraid the decision is up to you, Tyndall replies. You want to try to open the secret panel? Turn to page 131. If you prefer to try to retrieve the chest, turn to page 41. The chest or secret door? That's what I'm guessing. To retrieve the chest. Panel, secret panel, or chest? Whoa. Not losing my voice, so I hope we're going to get to an ending here pretty soon, guys. You don't often encounter psychic wind, me either. Also, secret panel. There you go. That's one. What do you think, Jess? The wizard isn't sure he can do it. That's what he said. Panel. Okay, let's do this. Secret panel is on page 131. All right, let me see here. It's a big one and at least another choice. So here we go. Man, this book just keeps going on and on. Since Tyndall seems convinced that Valerian would hide the gem in the secret panel, we decide to search it. How do we open it, you ask thoughtfully, patting the top stack of shells. Usually there's a catch on the 7th shelf. From the top. Where's it from the bottom? His old face clouds over with doubt. Tyndall, this is no time for indecision. Which is it? Try counting down from the top, Master Redmond. You count down several shelves and feel along the row of fake volumes for a catch. Finally, you discover it, hidden in the contours of the carving. You press the catch and the wooden top springs open. What's in it? Asks Mora. Carefully, you reach in with your hand. Fingers close on what feels like a metal scabbard. You pull it out and recognize immediately what it is. Bright Hope! Look, Mora! My father's sword! You hold it out to her. Its keen blade gleams even in the dim light of Valerian's chamber. Amazing, murmurs Tyndall. King Craddock must have given it to Valerian after the Battle of Renfield. What a dark day that was! I'll say, you had an agreement. Craddock destroyed our army that day, and Trillium fell. And all because we'd lost Bright Hope. But what's it doing here? Asked Mora. I thought the sword's magic prevented an enemy from possessing it. This wizard is useless. Oh no, another choice. Panel of Secrets. Okay, Ray was on board too, so good. Almost forgot you were here, Ray. Okay. Valerian must have found a way to neutralize its magic, Tyndall offers. Supposedly, the sword's bearer could never be defeated if it was wielded by a citizen of Trillium. But obviously, Valerian found a way around that, too. Doesn't matter, you say, holding the blade high. Magic or no magic, it's still the symbol to the people of Trillium. Once they see it again in our possession, they'll rally and throw off their oppressors. You make a few quick cuts in the air. The blade feels perfectly comfortable in your hand, like an extension of your arm. Does this mean we can go home now, Mora asked? What about the gem mask, Tyndall? Shouldn't we at least make an attempt to recover it? Mora flashes an angry look at the old magician. Why, she asks. Craddock's daughter means nothing to us. She's only a way to free our people from Craddock. Now we've found another way, a better way. For once, I agree with Mora, you say. When we begin this quest, I was worried about whether it was honorable to help one's enemies. I would have much rather faced Craddock on a field of battle than from bargaining table. Bargaining tables are far less bloody. However, it's Tyndall. But no matter. I am old. I don't always grasp the ways of youth. What about the princess? I see. Yeah, exactly. Well, if we're going to go, we better stop talking and start moving. I have a feeling Valerian will be back before long, says Mora. And what about helping the freaking people of the forest? Or just fuck all that, forget all that. Quite right, my young mountain flower, says a strange voice, and Valerian himself steps out of the shadows. His orange robes flowing. Yes, okay. I'm horrible. You look and see that the door behind him is open. He must have crept in while you were talking. The evil sorcerer's eyes scrutinize each of you in turn. Don't try anything, you say to him, coming around to his side of the table holding Bright Hope high, or I'll cut you to ribbons. An amused smile plays across the villainous magician's lips. You have the bravery of an angry little child, he says slowly, but unfortunately you have the brains to match. With a flick of his wrist, he causes the sword to fly from your grip, through the air and into the Valerian's hands. Now you can only stare amazed. Now, says Valerian, holding the sword, and tapping it thoughtfully with his fingers, what shall I do with you? Tyndall steps forward. Valerian, he begins, we are no match for your power, that's certain. But if I must ask you to consider my words, you hold the king's daughter for ransom because of a debt owed. But for these youngsters and myself, the situation is much more pressing. Our people are oppressed, and our land in ruin. I implore you, give up your captive, and let us return her to her father so he will release the others he holds in bondage. Bravely spoken, even for an old charlatan, says Valerian. What an absurd notion. I care nothing for you, for your people, or for your land, and certainly nothing for King Craddock. Meanwhile, a desperate plan is forming in your mind. You draw out the wand of Elderwood. You wave it before the evil mage. Give us the king's daughter, or you'll feel the full might of this, you exclaim. Redmond, what are you doing? Tyndall cries fearfully, taking a step toward you. Stay back, Tyndall. Well, Valerian, what about it? Valerian's expression has changed drastically. Gone is the sneer of the master magician. The eyes that regard you now are fearful, cautious. What's this? The insect has a sting? A most peculiar item, he says, indicating the wand. Where did you get it? Wouldn't you like to know? You say bravely, advancing closer. Valerian retreats a step, and his apparent fear of the wand emboldens you even further. Be careful, Redmond. Be careful, Redmond, whispers Mora. Would you consider a trade? Asks Valerian. The wand for the sword, for example. You expect us to trust you, you ask? How about the sword and the king's daughter? That way you'll be sure to get what you want. Redmond puts in Tyndall. May I have a word with you? Your old friend stands with his back to Valerian while you and Mora keep an eye on the evil magician. What are you intending to do? Tyndall asks. What are you intending to do? Tyndall asks. It sounds like it might be a good trade, you whisper. We don't need that wand any longer, anyway. Perhaps not, but can you trust him? There's a great deal we don't know about the wand. Valerian apparently realizes it's quite powerful. Besides, the wand is given to us in trust. It might not go well for us if we bartered it away. You look at Mora. Doubt is written on her face. She's obviously terrified of Valerian. What should you do? Should you trade the wand for Bright Hope and Magdalena? Or should you wait and try to think of some other way to defeat Valerian? All right, those are our choice. He's not afraid of the sword. He might be afraid of the wand. He is. Hey, Perv, are we making good choices in the Endless Quest tonight? I don't know, man. This has been going on and on for a long time. This might be our last one. We'll see. If you decide to make the trade with Valerian, turn to page 147. If you think you should wait and formulate some other plan, turn to page 59. We died 4 times. Yeah, we've died 4 times. Hey, fellow gamers. Good to see you, bud. Nice to have you in, bro. Okay, so formulate another plan or trade. They were good deaths. I think only one of them was a good death, Bill. Wait. Use the wand. So wait and use the wand. Wait, maybe trade. All right. So, Ray, if you're out there, let us know what your vote is. Fur, you're welcome to vote too. Are you serious? 4 deaths? Yeah. 4. Well, we haven't come to an end that we can't go back to the last choice and try again, but we'll see. So we got wait and trade. Yeah. All right. So what's it going to be, guys? We got one vote for wait, one for trade. Ray says wait. Okay. Do we trust Jess saying that Ray said wait? I love you, Jess. Oh my goodness, here we go. He's eating. He said hi to Purr. Okay, all right. Well, all right. We'll take you at your word. You're abstaining. Don't know the situation. A vote here would be unfair. Yeah, I get you, Purr. That's kind of what I thought. But all right, it looks like we're waiting there. Fairly outvoted again. All right, so turn to page 59. We got a new mulligan page. Gosh, we pretty much read this whole book. Got one more option if this one doesn't pan out well. And it does not. This one leads to another end. We'll see if it's a good one. Oh no. Ray said I didn't say anything bad. You didn't say anything bad. I was just teasing you, Jess. All right, here we go. I better get a drink. I'm running out of voice, guys. Oh. Doing voices. No trade, Valerian, you say. I'm not giving up the wand. Give me King Craddock's daughter. And if I refuse, then you'll feel the sting of this, you say, raising the wand threateningly. Valerian retreats a step. Be careful. You're wrong, you young fool, says angrily. You don't know what you're playing with. He's right, adds Tyndall. As an office, you don't know what kind of power a magical thing like that might possess. I'm willing to take my chances. The girl, Valerian, now. Crafty magician holds up the second chest, his eyes fluttering shut again as he begins to chant. Out of the corner of your eye, you see the other hand slowly rise towards you, palm first. Instinct tells you to beware, but you can't react fast enough as a missile of fire flies right at you. Good luck to wand or not to wand. There you go. Oh man, he cast a fire spell. Two. Christopher Works was in here early and got a fireball. We got a second one. Oh man. When you finally see again, Valerian is gone. Nothing remains but a puff of smoke. Marvelous, Tyndall intones. Truly marvelous. The minstrels will sing of this for years to come. What about the girl, you ask, running to the table? You pick up both boxes. Does anyone remember which was which? I do, says Moira. The one on the left is the one that holds the gem. I'm sorry, says Tyndall, but I thought it was the one on the right. My right or your right, you ask, getting confused. Oh, what does it matter? You put both boxes on the table and point the wand at both of them. There's another flash, and a cloud forms in the middle of the room. Slowly, its swirling comes to a stop, and you see a figure inside, a girl with lustrous black hair and steel blue eyes. What is this, she asks indignantly. Who are all of you? We're friends, you tell her. Thanks. You've been under a spell. Suddenly, Thorn flies in the door. We folk in trouble, he caws. Need help! Ugh, ugh! You look at the others, and the others look at you suddenly. You see something glowing near the table. It's the sword in Tyndall's hands. Look, you exclaim, snatching it from him. The sword's power, they've come back. And if Craddock goes back on his word, he's doomed, says Mora. Come on, everybody, you say as you usher them out the door. Trillium isn't free yet, but with bright hope shining once more, I don't see how we can lose. The end! I think that's supposed to be a good ending. Let me see where the other one goes, just for shits and giggles. We'll see. No, we'll probably close out the poll. I don't know, we've been at this for a long time. This one goes to page 147. And 147 is also an ending. It's just another ending, another happy ending. I'm good with that, guys. Prisoner of Elderwood successfully completed. but not. We died 4 times. So the girl was in the chest. She was and inside of a gem. She's still in there. And the bad guy dropped our sword. Yep. So we got our sword. We're gonna go free our people. Yeah, the gem was. That's where the girl was. She was inside the gem. The gem was in the chest. Yeah, they kind of glossed over that a little bit. All right, let me talk a little bit about the poll. We'll see we're going to do next month. But we're going to have lots of endless quest book readings coming up. So we got one in 2 weeks, and then after that, 2 weeks after, that's next month's episode. Will be our season finale. But we'll talk a bit. What about the gem? Yeah, the gem was in the chest, and she's inside the gem, the princess. Volturnus, isn't that Star Frontiers? Yes, sir. Princess, oh, I see. So I'm going to close out that poll. We're going to see what's going on. I'll take a look at it. Okay, I'm looking at it. All right, I'm gonna end it. I know which one wins, and it wasn't Circus of Fear. That one's been on the poll every time. It's going to go back on. Let me see what it goes. There it goes. Okay, so we got Villains of Volturnus. That's what we're doing. Captain Planet with 9% out of 11 votes. A lot of votes tonight. Thanks, guys. Under Dragon's Wing at 18% in third. Circus of Fear in second with 27%. But overwhelmingly, Villains of Volturnus will be the next endless quest we read next month. Okay, but it's not going to be the next one we read. There's Villains of Volturnus. I've been wanting to read a sci-fi one, so cool. Hooray, Villains of Volturnus. Yeah, I've read this one. Not a long time, anyway. But in 2 weeks, we're going to have our Halloween special of Endless Quest, and we're going to read this, Choose Your Own Adventure, Night Shift. So this ought to be a lot of fun. I'll read the back again for everybody. I did it at the beginning, but I'll read it here at the end. Welcome to Night Shift. Normally, you turn up at the hospital at 9 p.m. and prepare to face whatever comes through the door. You patched up gunshot wounds, plated broken bones, and drained abscesses. Sometimes you've spent the entire night watching TV, feeling bored, and just waiting for the phone to ring, waiting for something to happen. But what if something did happen? What would you do if your ordinary routine just turned upside down? In this adventure, you are not a hero. You're just a hospital worker who's caught up in the middle of your worst nightmare. Will you be able to use your wits and survive? We'll see you on the other side. Now, this encourages you guys to take notes next time. So on October 30th, the day before Halloween, we'll be reading this for our Halloween special for Endless Quest. And then next month, 2 weeks after that, on, I think it's November 13th. Yes, November 13th, we will read The Villains of Volturnus for our season finale. I'm going to write it right on my calendar so I know which one it is. Villains of Volturnus. Volturnus. Volturnus, yes, exactly. Okay. Nice cover on Night Shift. Yeah, it looks cool, dude. It looks really cool, I have to say. All right, that's on my calendar. Villains of Volturnus next. Well, next month. Night Shift for Halloween, guys. I bought this special just for this episode for next time on the 30th. Taking notes, that's what it says. It encourages to take notes. So it's going to be a mystery. You guys are going to have to remember clues, I guess. So it looks pretty cool. All right, guys. That is Prisoner of Elderwood. It's four deaths. That's got to be a record. Either way, at the end, we would have. Either way was a good ending. So we got a good ending finally. We got 4 bad endings. I don't know. I think that one where we died, where we killed the captain of the guard with the dagger, I thought that was pretty cool. Thanks for the reading and the fun, bro. Well, thank you for hanging out with us for a little bit, Per. Very interested in this next book. Me too. I want Night Shift. I'm looking forward to that. And I'm going to stay up as late as needed for that book because it's a Halloween special. And the very next night will be our Radio from the Hill YT102 Halloween special. And I'm going to be up way past midnight for that one too. So we're going to have some fun. Love Halloween, guys. All right. But on that note, my friends, I'm going to have to sign off because my voice is just about done. I will take a little break probably and play some Days Gone, probably here about 10:30. We'll see. I got to find out what's going on in my household because we got some groceries and stuff in, but make sure everybody's doing all right. And all night long. maybe just don't wreck your voice. Yes, where I'm at. It was doing all the voices. So yeah, I got to give myself a break. Got to be doing Fridays tomorrow night. Lionel Richie fan all night long. Yep, we'll be celebrating. Yep, hello Halloween. All right, so real quick, tomorrow night. That's the wrong one. That's not my schedule. Not my schedule. My schedule says that tomorrow night we got Fridays from the Hilt. We'll be talking the Nightmare Before Christmas. Sunday we've got Halloween. We're going to be playing Beyond the Miasma Veil. Jess is in that game. Tiger's in that game. We got quite a few people in that game. 6 people. And then I think that's about it. I mean, we got Joe Takes next week, but it's a premiere on From the Hilt at 7, and it'll post on Jadjo Gamer channel later that night. Probably about an hour afterwards. But it's going to be Major Blood. So that's what we got coming up. And then next Thursday, Radio from the Hilt 37. And it's looking like it might be Let's Ride the full album because Jess, I'm still waiting on you for your album. I don't know. I've got a backup. We shall see. Ray says good night. Will you tell Ray good night and thanks for joining me early? He was here from the beginning. So on that note, my friends, we will see you next time. Love you guys. You know, do the like, share, and subscribe thing, YouTube stuff. You guys know all about it, but those of you watching the replay, thank you. We have memberships available, plenty of members first and members only content now, so please check it out. No worries, Jess. I'll give you more time. Swarming Green is people. There you go. Love you too. Yes, take care, fellow gamers. All right. And on that note, my friends, I've got to say goodnight. Give my voice a break here for at least a half hour or so. And on that note, Logan out, and we'll see you next time.